エクセリオンは健在。私たちの左下方にいるわ。お姉様、あれを使うわ。え、よくってよ。
Hey everyone, it's time for another episode of Choochagatari Unlimited Train Work. See, I stopped doing the number title thing now, so I don't mess it up. I messed it up last time. I said the wrong number. Never happening ever again. I'm going to be safe. This episode is the Gun/Die Buster special, because I demanded it. And with me to talk about this is Elvie.
Yeah, I'm here.
You're here.
With you.
With me. And Trixie.
And everyone else.
Hello.
Yeah. And John.
Hi.
Hi. So, yeah, we're all here to talk about the Busters. The first and the second Buster. Well, I don't know if you could say Gun is 1, but Die is definitely supposed to be 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's labeled Gunbuster 2 on a lot
It
of
is,
stuff,
yeah.
so.
That's weird, because, it's what it's called. It's what it's called. I like that it was called Project Top. I thought that was cool. Because Top.
Very Gynex thing.
Yeah.
They couldn't decide what title. They needed like 3.
Yeah. They sure did for fucking Die, but I was like, because when I was like looking, I was like when you watch the anime, honestly, like 3 different fucking titles pop at the beginning to tell you what the anime is.
They're sticking to it at least.
Yeah.
They
are sticking to it.
committing to it.
And they should, because I like Gunbuster and Die Buster quite a bit. Not that they're not without their flaws, but we'll get into that. This time I think I can describe the things, and I won't make John do it because I know these things. So Gunbuster was an OVA from, 1989?
Something like that, yeah.
It's old.
It was like 88, 89.
It's old.
Yeah, and it was about, it was directed by Hideki Anno, who did Evangelion, and it also had, like, it was Gainax at large, and Gainax back then, pretty cool,
It was his first director gig, yeah,
which is
anime director.
wild. But you can also sort of tell that that he was the director at the very least, and you can also see how these things went into Evangelion. But it was 6 episodes. It was pretty liked at the time. It also was a production disaster to an extent. And Anno was like, and then got more depression from everything else that happened after that. And then,
Yeah.
And then Die Buster was made 20 years later or something. And it follows, like, I forgot to say what Gunbuster was about. Gunbuster is about a girl named Noriko, and her dad died in space because of evil space bugs, so she decides to go in space, and she's gonna fight the evil space bugs with the Gunbuster. That's what it is. Buster machine.
That's such an excellent synopsis.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
That's what it is. And there's, she has a coach, and One-sama, and Jung, who,
I don't know what she was.
She, if you look at the PC-98 games, she's a communist, apparently.
Okay,
so.
okay, we'll get into that later. Sorry, interrupting you.
Yeah, no.
I had a lot of questions about her.
Well, we can get to that. And then, so Die Buster came out, like I said, and it was supposed to be like, a 20th anniversary thing, and they did it as an OVA. That was fucking, what, 2004, I think?
Yeah.
So it was the 20th anniversary for Gainax, not just Gunbuster. But, and that one's about more blatant lesbians, and it's about this robot maid who decides she's going to become a robot pilot. Or space pilot who pilots a robot, like a Buster's. Like Lalk Milk the Lark.
The names and
The names.
It's a very good name. I don't know. I like it. And then there's people just named Roy.
And Taiko or Taicho?
Yeah, no.
Well, Lauk or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't tell how to. They call her Princess as a nickname, so I guess we can also settle for that.
Princess.
Yeah, but
so Nono is the robot maid girl, and she wants to be like Nonori, who is just, well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nonori.
they're just fighting their own things that aren't just specifically bugs. They could be anything, you know. Gravity wells, something, whatever that means. I don't know.
Find out.
And then both of these lead into the best anime of all time, but I'll talk about that later. Yeah, so who wants to go first? About Gumbuster, probably. I think we should probably start with, right?
Yeah.
Or do you want to be like
I-
free flow?
Honestly, I feel like we could just like sit down and have like a normal size conversation about each of these shows because they are very dense.
Yeah, but they're only
there's
6 episodes.
There's 6 episodes each, but it really felt like watching a 12-episode full show for each of them. I guess I could go ahead. Gumbuster was really, really good. It's super apparent how like influential it was for the entire genre of mecha and anime in general. It just sets the stage for everything, it feels like. The characters are, well, they're pretty archetypical. They're pretty much the characters that you would see in a lot of shows these days. And it's, you know, a little hard to divorce it from that at times. But it's still fun enough and still interesting enough that I think it's still absolutely worth watching today. It's a bit of anime history. It's the sort of thing where it's like, yeah, you should absolutely watch this to, you know where your favorite stuff came from, or maybe even some of the dumb stuff that you'd roll your eyes at. There's some of that in here too. But overall, I think it is a very good piece of anime history, and I do think people should watch it today.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was gonna say with Gunbuster specifically, especially when you mentioned about the archetypes that show up with the characters you know the show introduces you to. It's like, well, these actually might be the very characters that influence those archetypes later on you see in a lot of modern anime. So yeah, the show it was not only influential to like Gainax's like work later on, but I agree it like seems to have influenced like tons of sci-fi and specifically mech anime like moving onwards. And it's kind of cool like how between both of the shows, Gunbuster specifically predating Evangelion, and then Diebuster specifically predating Gurren Lagann, and like it's kind of cool to see these two different how very specific they are within their own like eras. Like Gunbuster is like obviously like very specific to the 80s, whereas Diebuster is like, oh yeah, this is like anime entering the digital age, or like the 2000s anime entering like transitioning into like digital like animation into a digital style production, and like those sort of like those are archetypes that were very common and around that time and other tropes. Yeah, oh my gosh, yeah, I loved it. And like I'm just like kicking myself that I don't know why I never heard of this before. And I'm sure I'm sure the series was like well known and like really successful for its time. I mean, nonetheless, it even had like these cute like after school kind of like science lesson things trying to justify the logic of the show per episode. It was very cute. So I would assume that like there was like a strong reception to this, like in some capacity, because I really love mech like anime and all that. Like I love the Macross franchise. Like when I went into this, I like literally like the first few seconds of the first episode, I was just losing my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, like a blast through the past, like of the 80s style production of anime. Like this style, like, you know, this art style is really great, and I just love it. It's so charming, and even with the artifacts you see in the film and like how this was shot at the time, and like the fact that it's not at least at least on the platform I did watch it, like it wasn't great at all. But I don't know, it just added to that charm of like, wow. And yeah, just even how it was animated, you can feel like all the fun and love put into it. But yeah, I really loved Gunbuster. You know, before I get into even more specifics, that's my general statement on it for a lot of reasons. I don't know, I felt very, it just felt very natural to me that I would like it going into it. And I think like how it looks too was a big part in it as well. And despite all the, I don't know, and despite all like the horrible things that, you know, like that go on, the shit that goes down in the series, as you know, as with Diebuster itself, Diebuster as well, something about the show was very optimistic. You know, it was very optimistic, and I think that's the message it was trying to give. Yeah. Anyway, in both series, you know, as we go more specific about how they connect.
It's kind of surprising how optimistic Gunbuster was, considering how strongly anti-military it was.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, I thought that's something that I really liked about it was that, like, sort of sense of, like, there's a lot of desperation in Gunbuster specifically. I'd say Diebuster has some too, but I feel like Gunbuster has, like, a lot more, like, forcefulness behind it. And, like, they fucking blow up Jupiter to kill like some aliens. Like fuck, like whatever. They're like, yeah, we'll blow up some more planets. Who cares? Whatever. Like
yeah.
Like, we need to survive. We need to do literally anything we can to protect ourselves and protect the Earth.
But they're still like, it was terrible that happened. But then it's like, but we can still move on and it can be fine. You know, like that's sort of like what happens.
Yeah, it felt very grounded and almost realistic in a way, despite how over the top crazy it was. I really liked Gunbuster. The animation was charming, especially, I don't know how popular of an opinion this is, but I find that the last episode was gorgeously.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I agree.
Absolutely.
I think, I agree. The last episode.
The black and white is, it suits the show insanely well, and the differing aspect ratios really add a punch to it that I didn't even expect.
Yeah, agreed. It really, and also enhanced the anxiety I think you would feel throughout the episodes, like, oh shoot, why? Yeah, again, it was very unexpected, so you go into thinking like, what? The episode prior, you're like, oh, okay, everything's cool now, right? And then, oh, there's another episode, like, shit, what's going on? Why is everything in black and white? What's left, right? And like, it really enhanced the drama in it, like, and you know, like going into like how it's how things are still humanity's still bad, so we gotta still fix things, essentially.
And I'm sure it was done that way because of how much of a production disaster it was. Probably not an intentional artistic.
I wonder honestly though, because it seems pretty deliberate.
It seems so, but it's also like whole minutes pass by of just still images during the most intense battle of the series. So,
you know, one thing I really liked in well, not to get ahead of myself, but in Diebuster they repeat like this one frame of D Snoof firing the beam, but the Buster beam. They reuse like the same exact keyframe like every single time, and it owns, honestly.
God.
And it made me think of the same thing.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. It seemed like a nice callback, at least. I really liked the characters as well. The only character I don't think I liked was, what's his name, Smith? From the third episode, he seemed...
Oh, the guy who died?
The character
bland and cookie cutter
the
guy.
Character development, death.
What was his fucking name? It was, Smith. Yeah, Torrin Smith.
His name was Larry Smith, because I guess he was the one implied American. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
they often resort to very generic like English
That
names.
character is actually based on a real person as well, as I found out. It was it was a Gynax fan who was living basically with Gynax at the time.
Well, that's unfortunate. They just murdered him. They let him die.
They're like, get the fuck out of our house.
Oh my gosh.
Stop eating out of our fridge, dude. Fuck off.
Do you know what our budget is like right now?
Yeah, maybe he's the reason why it was such a disaster.
Kill them off.
Running up the electricity bills. Like,
on that, I was okay. My thing with Jung Freud. Okay, is she supposed to be like Soviet Russian? Like when we got to the point.
Yes, she is.
Here's the Soviet
I'm gonna show you a
Russians.
picture real quick.
Also, I will say, despite how on the nose that name is, it totally owns. I'm glad they did it.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh great. Yeah, great.
for context, Rose just sent us a picture from the PC98 game where she's just sitting there full nude.
She's just naked.
With, like,
she's
the
cold.
fucking-
It's cold in
the hammer and
space.
sick-
I mean,
with the hammer and sickle behind her and a bunch
I
of
don't-
Russian. Like,
I don't understand. Okay, I don't know why a lot of media okay, you can stereotype Russians, sure, but like, why are they redheaded? That's not even accurate at all.
I don't.
That's it's very.
I have no idea, but I'm with you on this. It's fucking weird.
like Dawn Booth, the Anastasia Booth. Like, why is she red? That actually is not accurate at all. They don't even look like that. But okay, all right, I was okay.
Yeah, they could just have
anyway,
an Irish character,
right.
you know? Like,
Yeah, I don't like. Not
do
even
you
blonde.
want them to have an Irish?
I mean, it's also, to be fair, it's also kind of unrealistic to just have, like, weird colored hair in anime in general.
Yeah.
So, redhead from Russia is probably not too far.
Right.
yeah, I mean,
that might be
Onesama
natural
has
for them.
fucking blue hair. We should
Yeah.
skip over this, actually. She just has blue hair.
Yeah. So I guess I'll say real quick that, like, I think I don't know, maybe you all might disagree, but I think something that is a little frustrating about Gunbuster is that I feel like a lot of the like issues that the characters have are just very like I want to say that I'm trying to figure out a way to say this that doesn't sound kind of shitty, but like a lot of the girls are just like really like catty and shitty to each other in like a very stereotypical like Mean Girls kind of way, and
yeah.
it gets like it's kind of frustrating at times because they're just kind of like it's the kind of thing that you would see in like a fucking like high school drama.
Well,
from
guess what?
the 90s.
Guess what? They're high schoolers from the 90s.
I mean, yeah, but it's still like.
No, I get you.
It's kind of weird in like an anime that is presented as like this kind of space opera-y kind of thing, you know?
well, like,
I totally agree. I think it actually sort of works because of how grounded Gunbuster is. Whereas, not to get too far ahead, but I thought Diebuster had the same issue, except it was a lot more pronounced for me there, because it didn't feel grounded at all. So all the cattiness and shadiness just was like not endearing in any way.
I didn't notice that much from Diebuster, and like there's some parts where I like kind of get it. I think like Zheng being like a rival kind of character works, but I just thought there was like near the beginning the whole like I don't know. I thought there was some of it that was just like kind of unfounded, whereas we're just like you know like very Mean Girls-y kind of just picking on people for no real reason, and but then once like the coach like started to choose her over the other girls, like that made more sense. But I don't know. I just think there were like I think it made sense, but I think it went a little bit too far at times, trying to be like, look at these high school girls. This is how they act. Isn't that crazy?
I would say like as I think most of us have been saying, like this show felt really grounded with how these characters were, and that's why I think we at least love most of them. I guess Sans Smith, rest in peace, whatever.
yeah.
Whatever happened to him. for instance, like Noriko's like horrible like trauma and like her basically her depression and her like I don't know what basically she basically had PTSD. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And you see this girl suffering in a really realistic way that wasn't frustrating. It was I think it was very it was depicted in a way that felt very emotionally like sound. Like, oh my gosh, I feel bad as a girl. She is literally a 15-year-old sent to space. It's wow, this is fucked up. Why are they? You realize, oh shit, this is kind of fucked up. Why are they sending schoolgirls to space to fight these insect aliens, right? And I think with that like depiction in itself, I think like how the other girls acted, like especially being mean towards her, like I don't think they were that far off from reality, especially in light of like how the show begins off feeling like, and I did read about this a lot, the show kind of feels like it's also riffing off of how like sports anime feels. So I think there was this in between of like this show and you know, the show feeling like a very motivational like track where it's kind of like a sports anime where these are basically just teenagers like fighting against each other and still being very competitive, but also and the backdrop is this is like there's like a bigger problem where like these are teenagers fighting off like this, well, not by themselves, but they're helping to fight off this crazy like outer worldly force that's threatening the Earth and the planet, and they're basically forced to grow up like much faster than they should, which is funny as we go in probably, you know, to talk about the rules of time and time travel later on, but yeah, they're basically being forced to grow up much faster than they anticipate, and you know, with that, I think it's fair that they were being catty. They're still like, you know, I agree with, you know, I think what Rose was about to say, that they're still basically teenagers, I think, just forced in a rather adult situation. It is, though I would agree with Jung, you know, again, my kind of own problem with her is that she doesn't, she kind of came in with no incentive to be mean, right? She's not that developed to do so. She just kind of came in. Whereas the other girl in the first episode, the regular, you know, the colleague, okay, there's like an implied history probably that went on the school, I think. But Jung had no reason to be like as horrible as she was, especially twice, knowing Noriko went through like an obvious like trauma.
Yeah, I think that's more my issue, is that like Jung just kind of comes in already kind of. Yeah, I think my issue is more that like Jung just kind of comes in swinging out of nowhere, and it's just kind of like, all right, you're all working together. I don't know what your deal is, but okay. Like, well, it's not like I don't know if maybe I wasn't paying attention, but was like Jung like kind of passed over for anything, or, you know, I mean, I know that like maybe the coach is like, you know, focusing on Noriko a lot, but like, why does Jung care about the coach, you know? Like, I don't know.
Well, she is chosen for the Buster machine. Like, she's gonna do the Buster machine.
I didn't really notice that was like something that she was like actively chosen for at the beginning.
Here's what
let me just say, like, I guess I would get the rivalry bit once like the Gunbuster was introduced and like it became more and more apparent that Noriko was going to use it. But I still think that like it was pretty initial that Jung was just like, yeah, you're my rival now, and it's just like, okay, like, I don't know, I think that it could have been a little more natural progression for the rivalry.
Yeah.
Well, I think that both Gunbuster and Diebuster are very good representations of the difference between storytelling over the course of, I guess, 15 years, as we've seen anime gradually change from that era.
Sure.
Because Gunbuster, like we said at the beginning, all the characters are very archetypal, like, oh yeah, like, here's the coach, he's the teacher or whatever, and then here's the spunky girl with it, like, she's sad sometimes, etc. You know, like, here's the reliable older sister type, you know, like, it's all of these characters represent archetypes because the larger concept behind Gunbuster is conveying the theme of anti-military stuff and, like, you know,
it was a means
like
to an end.
A lot of like allegorical stuff, like PTSD, time dilation, the stuff we'll get into later. And with Diebuster, you have the opposite approach, where it's like, because this is what's been happening with anime in general, is it moves more away from like conveying themes through just like a set, like themes through a setting, and more like themes through characters. So Diebuster has more of a focus on individual characters, like that specific episode that, like I think episode 3.
Yeah, it was
that takes place on Jupiter, I think, where they make it snow. Like that type of like the way that it goes so specifically into one character and like examines like her is something that Gunbuster wouldn't have done necessarily, because it's focusing on the larger themes and everyone at once.
The big one of the big differences between them, before we go on to that list of what makes them different, was Gunbuster. The trajectory of like the plot progressing was I think specifically dependent on Noriko and Kazumi's relationship.
Yeah,
it was that Diebuster. On the other hand, we had moments where we cut away from the main character, Nono and the other one.
Lolk Melkmal arc. It's easy. Come on, just Lolk Melkmal arc.
I don't like it. I don't like her name. It could have been better, but I like her. There you go. She deserved a better name. That's my take. Yeah. So Diebuster, Diebuster. The two main girls, there were times it drew away from the others and like focused on like the other characters and even aspects of the world more. Whereas, again, going back, Gunbuster like focuses on two specific characters, and Diebuster was like, oh, we're gonna jump around and show things and develop the other minor characters. Whereas Gunbuster, like, didn't take that direction doing that.
You know what? Gunbuster had one very important thing over Diebuster, I'm going to say, in the character department, and that's every time Noriko does something like meaningful or cool and it cuts to Coach and there's a glint in his sunglasses, I'm just going to say, like, Diebuster doesn't have that.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It definitely
Kicks
does
ass,
not.
yeah. It's like the coolest shit ever. Every time it happens, I was like, yeah!
Yeah. I would also say that the characters in Gunbuster are archetypical, because it was like the first of its... it was like the first big influence for the mecha genre, so it makes sense that the characters are templates, more or less, since there wasn't...
I mean, there were Gundams, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They were definitely more pronounced, I would say, the characters' personalities in the series, I guess, because of also the short time. I mean, I don't know if that, again, like, the production set, like, so, whatever was ill-planned or whatever, but they were definitely really pronounced, and I guess that also is reflective of like the situations the characters had to deal with, really. I would say my like really big criticism of like any character, I mean, like, overall I think character development was strong. I like how Noriko and Kazumi grew, and the whole weird like my big thing was like the relationship between Kazumi and Coach was felt a little like out, like it felt a little like surprise, like I don't know where that came from, right? There was nothing to, there you see shots, so throughout the series you see shots of them together, and it's like, oh, why is Kazumi special and like talking to him, it's like, but there was nothing indicative of like them being romantically involved.
Yeah, she only ever talks to him
like twice,
complain about Noriko.
Like, wow, so romantic.
Love was born. I think I'll talk about this more when we get to Diebuster.
Okay. But yeah, it's not.
Totally.
Nothing to do with the relationship at all. Like especially around that time, and like if you look at a lot of old shoujo, a lot of female like targeted dramas, like which is very bad and unhealthy. Like there's a whole discourse regarding like in Sailor Moon about Usagi and Mamoru's relationship, how he's a much older man. Like that stuff was very idealized, and that's a thing. Like girls do like idealize, a relationship with an older man, how handsome, whatever. So like in regards to that aspect, that's not really a problem. It was something like, oh, okay. I kind of expected that, especially around that time. But it was really the believability of that relationship at all, because, as I said, she talked to him like twice, and mostly to complain about Noriko or like crying about that.
The space radiation sickness.
Yeah, the space radiation sickness, which I guess was just made up on the spot because everyone else was exposed to space more than he was, as we see. I don't know.
He was in the thing, right? Like he.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay,
yeah.
All right. But it was just a little. Sunglasses hides his pain. Yeah. Unfortunate.
God.
I can't get over it. Just every time he's making the same fucking face every time it cuts to him.
He's in deep pain. He's been in deep pain the whole time, if you realize.
Sunglasses hide the depression and sickness.
And that's like the glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel, like for him, Yeah, damn, it's beautiful, we just, all right.
But no, I liked Gunbuster overall.
Yeah.
So, like, something that you pointed out, Rose, was its anti-military message, and also the time dilation.
Best thing. I love it.
Yeah, I think both of those things together really mesh, especially I'm sure other people have pointed this out in the past, but I felt like the how whenever they go onto a space mission, time does not move the same way that it does when they're like on Earth or just in their spaceship. Like, depending on how fast they go, time around them will travel different ways and they'll stay the same age. So like there's a mission where where it takes them like 5 minutes and like a couple of months pass by. Or, like at the end they straight up like go 10,000 years in the future and shit like that. And I just thought that really echoed how, like, when someone is sent off to war, they basically lose that part of their life. Even if they don't die, even if they aren't injured, they aren't able to interact with their family. They are displaced from society for that entire time.
Yeah, and the thing that really I think is exceptional about the way that they use this is that since Noriko is staying the same age, she is not maturing like everyone else is, which is the same way, war, etc. Like no one, like you come back and like everyone else has like grown up and evolved from their experiences and you haven't, Mm-hmm. And I think that works just really good. And my favorite scene in the entire series of Gunbuster, besides the Inazuma kick, is the part where they know that the coach has sickness or whatever, and they have to do like a 6-month mission, and the entire time they're fighting, they're just looking at this Earth clock tick up, and they're like, "No!"
God, yeah.
I was just like, "This
that was
is
so
sick as
stressful.
hell."
It was so stressful.
The Onisama going like having to fight with her emotions because she wants to go back and see him one more time before he dies, but she doesn't know he'll last that long because it took them like 3 months in Earth time to do it, and he had like 3 months to live. So, she has to get talked up and be like, look, you're at the point where he's either still alive or he's already dead, but if we don't complete this mission, he's definitely dead, so you have to do it.
Right.
And it was just really powerful.
And what's incredible is that's Noriko telling that to Kazumi, and it shows how much Noriko has like grown, especially like in the most of the series. Like you can see, you see her, just feeling down on herself, terrified, realizing the reality of like, oh shit, this is horrifying. I don't know what I got myself into, and talking in her head towards her father, the rhetorical spirit of her dad, and feeling like she's disappointed in him and she doesn't know why she's done this. And that was an incredible moment. That it was now Kazumi who is the one who is down, and that it's Noriko who has to be the one to soup her up and like motivate her and bring her spirits back after all that. And what's even more powerful about that moment is that it was after the episode. I forgot if it was within the same episode or if it was the previous episode, but I think it was within the same episode. It was after Noriko tried to touch base with what's her name, Kimiko, which was a character you briefly see like in the beginning of the series with one of the classmates that and in the opening and like the end credits you see that this is like one of Noriko's best friends back at school, and like she confronts Kimiko the first time in like a long while, and because of time and relation, Kimiko is now a mother with a child and is very much a much more mature, different person. And Noriko is facing that fact that, oh shit, like this is the situation where I'm in, and like for that to that moment happened before the whole like that whole scene, and it just really shows kind of like how much Noriko has grown from that, accepting the reality and accepting that she basically, it's not really that she resigned to her fate, but it's more like Noriko resigned to knowing what she must do. Like she has to like the realization that I have to ensure that my best friend's kid will live on and like have a future. That was kind of like the big thing. That's what I remember, like ensure that, I forgot the child's name, but it was something about, it was ensuring like Kimiko's child has a future, and that even talking to Kimiko, like she made a promise about that. And like the even more heartbreaking, I think it was something about like Kimiko said something to the effect that I feel like when you come back to Noriko that she wouldn't even be alive. So it was I think like, so when eventually Noriko had to like yell at Kazumi to deal with it basically, and that you might as well do this because they might die anyway. It was just kind of very powerful that, if you recall, like previously, that Noriko herself had to face that fact and learn how to accept that herself.
It's good anime. That's what I
It is
think.
very
It's a good anime.
It's one of my favorites. I'm glad we could finally got John to let us watch it. It's not your fault, John. It's the fact that this fucking thing isn't available streaming anywhere. We all had to watch it on, like, I don't know, murder websites where people kill you.
Which is wild because on like licensed platforms, the movie compiled version of it exists. I don't know why. Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, because things are cut out. Things are going to be cut out. I think you really need to see the series in its full 6 episodes.
I kind of think that the movie version was good for what it is. It's better than most recap movies I've seen.
I guess, but like when I watched it like a year ago, I want to say, I just was like, I like, especially now watching this, I'm stronger in this opinion that I really prefer the series, like, by far.
I definitely prefer the series. I just think the movie with what it had, it did a good job of streamlining the series.
Yeah, I think the only way to get the series, like, legally, could support it, but is, like, physical, this sets in a capacity.
At this point, you're not supporting anyone.
Right. Yeah, to be honest. Yeah, actually. Yeah, to be honest. But yeah, if one were to get actual hands on the series, I think that's what I saw. Something about weird. It's always a weird licensing problem. I don't know.
People are hoping that Netflix takes it, but, like, I honestly don't expect it.
Right.
Like, they got Ava because Ava's, like, crazy popular everywhere, whereas Gunbuster's popular, but it was very much, like, of its time popular, like it's still relevant. People love the Inazuma kick. It's fucking great. It's in, like, tons of shit.
They can, like, link it with Ava in a way, but I don't know. It's like in terms of marketing, but right, it's I don't see Netflix as sort of being like the library.
They're not up for archiving things.
Right. The go-to, like, mainstream library for, like, older, like, I don't trust them with that either, right? I don't trust them. That's another thing. So.
All right, want to move on to Die Buster?
Yeah. Sure.
All right. I explained Die Buster already, so who wants to go first about Die Buster? I'm going to go first. Oh, no, Trixie, you go first. Fine, no.
Right.
You go ahead.
Unfortunately, I don't think I liked it as much as everyone else.
Shit.
Yeah, I still liked it. It was just kind of meh. I think the animation, first off, is really, really good. It's quite a spectacle to behold, to be honest, especially with the mechs and all the crazy-ass battles. But I think, in contrast to Gunbuster, the characters in Die Buster fell really flat for me. I think my biggest problem was, in contrast to Gunbuster, most of the characters acted kind of idiotically. It seemed like just to move the plot forward, and I wasn't super into most of them except for Elark and Noriko, or Nori. That's probably an unpopular opinion, but I just, after a certain point, I couldn't stand most of the cast and was just waiting for the point of view to shift back to the main two.
I could see that. I didn't, like, actively hate them, but I definitely understand that, like, a lot of them are just kind of there to push the story further. I thought, like, episode 3 was really good.
Yeah.
But otherwise it was just like, yeah, they're here to do something. They're there to spark something, because if they don't, the other two girls are just gonna be, treading water. Which, I'd rather they do something other than just sitting there, but it would almost make, like, I guess that's the problem, is that, like, in Gunbuster, they are, they're being a bit more active in their, battling the foes. Like, they're going out there, they're traveling in space, they're intercepting, but in Die Buster, it is much more a defense kind of thing, so characters kind of have to fuck up to get those enemies to those locations.
Which felt really frustrating after a certain point.
Sure.
Yeah, I do actually agree with Trixie to an extent that I in the end, I think I like Gunbuster more. And to elaborate on what John said, I think there was way more at stake in Gunbuster, right? There was way more at stake in Gunbuster, and that's why it felt like more characters active. Whereas Diebuster, again, without knowing the context at all of what's going on with the setting, how is the set related all to Gunbuster before we get there, it didn't feel like there was much at stake. I'm sure there was, but especially with how the first episode opens up, it's like, oh, cool, we're in this world, we're in this world with all the just robots being casually used around, and this cool kind of industrialized pseudo I don't know how to describe it, but we're in some sort of world where technology has progressed to the point where I don't would aliens be a threat? I don't know, it seemed like things like the space pilots and all that were heavily normalized to a point of okay, compared to the stakes in Gunbuster, where Gunbuster is heavily grounded more closer to our reality, it would be terrifying that aliens are just going to come invade any moment, to the point where we have to resort to sending school kids as part of the coalition to defend the planet. Whereas Diebuster, on the other hand, it just seems like even in the world itself, it seems these outer world, it didn't seem like the presence of otherworldly threats were that urgent, or were they kind of popped, danger pops in, as Trixie said, it kind of popped in when it was convenient, or if one of the characters somehow triggered a situation that enabled the danger aspect to it. But in my opinion though, with Diebuster, I did still like it, but I think with my personal opinion on the flaws, I feel compared to Gunbuster, I did like Gunbuster more. Again, I agree though, I love the animation. And you have this huge contrast between the animation between Gunbuster and Diebuster, whereas Diebuster is created a transition into how a lot of Gynax, their shtick when it comes to animating characters, it's this is now really entering the modern era of how they approach the characters, and especially how they deal with comedic situations. I actually did generally like the characters though. I like the variation of them, and I appreciated that. Yeah, they with the limited time they had, that they took time to develop each of them and made more clear on what their motivations were. That said, a lot of the men in Diebuster were trash. At the very least, Gunbuster, I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, Gunbuster is okay. The 2 men we know of in Gunbuster that show up at all are okay. They're leaders, and they're I don't know. Maybe it's because we don't know much about them besides space radiation cancer that shows up. But I don't know. It's.
Listen, I want to say that I think that the fact that all of the men in Diebuster are terrible.
Okay.
I want to say that I think that it's intentional. Mm-hmm. Because I think it's supposed to be the men in Gunbuster were actually terrible if you think about it. Coach was horrible. And I think specifically Nicola is supposed to represent how the relationship between Coach and One-sama, as I will say, in Gunbuster was not actually a good relationship. Probably.
Interesting, okay.
That's what I think, because, specifically, he kind of has that same role, where he is the person in charge of Topless, etc., and that. Mm-hmm. He's, the one and whatever. And, she's just, trying to be, head pats, etc., and then, obviously, he assaults Nono later or whatever, and she's oh, he was terrible the entire time, and everything, I think that was supposed to be intentional, to be I don't know about the other time before.
Okay. That's
but also there's a lot more terrible people in Diebuster in general, whereas Gunbuster is very against an existential threat. This has more I kind of have a problem, I will say, with Diebuster's antagonists, mostly because with Gunbuster I really appreciated how it was from the beginning, it's fucking space bugs, they're out there, they're gonna fucking get you, okay? And, they're established as, the main bad guy, and it's, for the first episode, it's the kaiju, and then, the kaiju aren't even the bad guys by the end. It's, gravity well thing.
I think all the space bugs came from the gravity wells, which I think the fucked up science and Die Buster might be my favorite between the two. Mainly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
sure, I
yeah.
like that.
I'm a big fan of episode 3's moment where Tycho gets in her gunbuster and just freezes the bugs in space to negative
Yeah.
3 trillion 2 million degrees.
That was cool. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not how science works.
Oh, did you like in the last episode when they do a second Big Bang because they're whatever, and then they're like,
Ruled.
oh, and my favorite line from that bit is just specifically when they're like, "Is that a second Big Bang? Is that even possible?" And they're like, "When a singularity happens,
Right.
it's not supposed to be possible." And it's like, okay,
It truly illustrates like old Guy Next versus like modern Guy Next. Like like with
Yeah.
Gunbuster, it's like okay, like it's, again, like if you've seen the version of the series with the cute science lessons, it's like they're doing every part to make this seem like practical. And especially since back on Earth and Gunbuster, like they're very devoid of technology at all. This is like this is just Earth in the 80s, whatever. Die Buster, you know, they're everything's like whatever because you don't know where it's not established yet what the setting is really. It's just hinted at, but like anything can go off, like explosions everywhere, whatever. Do whatever you want, and like I appreciate that they just commit to that. Without having to explain it really or having to justify it. It's just like, okay, because you know so little about this world, like anything can be acceptable, I guess. And it's kind of cool that they own up to it in very spectacular ways. So it's like, I won't hesitate to think about it over. It's like, okay, I guess that happened. Like the negative 3,000, like 3 trillion degrees freezing.
I really loved the action in Die Buster. I thought how fluid it was amazing. It reminded me a lot of Fooly Cooly, which is one of my favorites.
I think it's the same character designer actually, or someone.
It's also a Guy Next show as well.
Yeah. Specifically,
it was just very like I remember watching stuff like this before, and this is reminding me of it. The nostalgia, if you will.
listen, these shows existing lets me have Gurren Lagann, so I think they're the best shows ever. I really like Gurren Lagann, and my favorite thing watching Die Buster specifically, honestly, even Gumbuster, is like seeing all of the quirks that end up making Gurren Lagann is like, fuck yeah! Like when it's like, One-sama, let's do it. Yeah, alright, let's do it. And then they do the big kick. It's like, yeah, it's just like when they do the Gatai and Gurren Lagann and stuff, and it's like, it's really cool to see like where that comes from. Because I had only seen half of Die Buster before, I have to confess to you. So watching that for this time, I was like, all right, no, I was missing out. This was very good, actually, this whole time.
They very explicitly turned into a drill at the end of there, and I was just like, okay.
I mean, did you see fucking Jupiter 2? Like, that it just fucking the giant drill. A lot of drills in it.
One of the planets like has Kamina in its name, so
it's Kamina's moon is what it's called. Like, what the fuck?
On the nose.
They knew what they were doing.
It didn't even exist yet, is the thing.
They still knew what they were doing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have to figure Gurren Lagann's probably years in development, right? Like,
probably.
But yeah, I think my favorite part of it is probably still like the ending where it's like, oh, here's Gunbuster's ending, by the way. It's the same ending.
Oh,
here you go. Just from the other side. It's like, it still got me.
Plot twist, they were on Earth the whole time. Woo! That was excellent. That was a very satisfying, and it like rolled into the credits the exact same way, and I was hoping it would like transition to black and white. I don't know, but they didn't.
Yeah.
But that's the same music. It was wonderful. It was very satisfying, and it's like, I think it still ties into the themes of what Gunbuster was going for. Like, there's still hope. It's very optimistic, even if it takes 10,000 years.
Even if
Dear
it takes,
God.
I forget how many fucking years it was.
It was 10,000.
10,000.
Oh,
It was 15,000.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's even worse. Oh, okay.
Poor Noriko.
Yeah.
So.
I watched Die Buster first because a friend wanted to watch it like immediately after we announced on the podcast, and watching that first was a very interesting experience, and I can say that I think like taken at its own, Die Buster works pretty well as a standalone thing.
But then you see Gunbuster.
Yeah, and the thing about that that kind of soured me on Die Buster a little was that despite how different it was, it still managed to feel like almost the exact same show in a number of ways, like beyond just callbacks, which kind of got frustrating on my rewatch of Die Buster. Like, yeah, you're doing the same things that happened in Gunbuster, same plot points. It was.
You know what's really funny to me? Is that the one specific thing they took the most is the ripping the shirt thing that Noriko does inexplicably in that one in the episode 4, I think, of Gunbuster.
Yeah.
And then like they just do it like 6 times in Die Buster. It's really funny.
I appreciate the doubling down on that, at least.
No, sure.
It was really funny in episode 1 because like at the beginning of Die Buster, where they like refer to themselves as the Topless, it's like it's like, oh, it's initially funny because it's just like teehee, no shirts, but then also it's funny because, you know, like the show is like reach to the top, and then them calling themselves topless is like, you know, hinting at they have to go beyond what they did in Gunbuster. But then at the end of the episode, they're just straight up like, yeah, she
just rips off her.
she is literally topless. It's layers. There's a cake.
Yeah,
it's a layered cake.
Italian
and in the
chef
middle.
kiss.
Like, it's like the outside of it is vanilla, the middle of it is like this really rich marble, and then the inside is just like, it's like a ball of just sugar.
Yeah.
Because they're just going crazy for it, and it's delicious all the way through, though. It's very, I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I appreciate the, like, batshitness of it. I just wish Die Buster was more of its own thing than just Gunbuster.
Sure, I can get that.
Yeah, I like you know, to comment on my like, I have two points that I think were a big issue. I think with Die Buster in particular that ended up, you know, tipping it off the scale and like, oh, Gunbuster, you know, I prefer Gunbuster. You know, with Nori / Nono, whatever, like her, I don't know, I didn't feel like her backstory and like basically her link to Noriko was strong. Like, you know, and it still kind of confused me as to like really like what was her purpose, right?
Well, I believe there was like the implication was that she had memories of Noriko in her database, but she couldn't remember clearly, and that's why she kept referring to her as Noriri or how.
Until the end when she says Nori, no, Ririko.
Yeah.
I was just a little, you know, I was just a little confused as like, you know, was she produced as like a quill, you know, like a robot, like was she like a time, like I didn't quite, or was she just a random android, you know, like that somehow crossed paths with the girls at some point and like
she was a buster machine.
Okay, all right, okay.
So but she's
She
like, I
herself
think
was the buster
from that
machine,
era,
Yes.
basically.
You're
so
right,
like
okay.
she has all the memory, like she has
Right.
like they would have been like at the time, everyone would have been like, oh fuck yeah, let me tell you about Noriko and this other lady.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I just felt like that wasn't clarified well. Like in my opinion, you know, maybe I just didn't read it, like, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention at some point.
As John said, it's a lot. The series is very dense, and especially compared to Gunbuster, which is like dense, but like still like so like what's the term I want to use? Straightforward.
Right.
Almost. Like it's very like basic.
Right.
Like parts being put together, as opposed to Die Buster, which feels like a million parts being put together.
Right, there was a lot of choppiness, and not saying that's a bad thing, but there was like a lot of choppiness where you had to really sit down and like think over things about like, oh, okay, and connect the dots of like what meant what. I suppose. I would say so I'm gonna get my other problem with Die Buster was specifically, and again, no, I love Nono. She was adorable. She was cute. But from the first episode, it is made clear she's going to be made the weird butt of jokes with fan service and stuff, right? Like, oh, okay, all right. Again, the men are trash and they're just peeping out of skirt, whatever. Like, okay, whatever. I'm fine with that. It's like, okay, that's a joke. But then, like, you get hit the climax of the series, and she actually gets assaulted. That was a little weird. That was a little uncomfortable. It's like, okay, well, I felt like they should have chose one or the other. You can't just be like, we're gonna like make fun of like, you know, like, oh yeah, it is like, you know, like we're gonna have these perverted jokes about her and all that, but then actually have like a serious event like relating to that in the series. That was like, ooh, that was like that was really dicey. It was like I didn't. That could have been like approached better. I feel like
they tried to like explain why that happened. Like, what's his name wanted to be a part of the Buster Machines again since he was becoming. But it's like it depends on how you take that explanation.
Yeah. I know the motivation of why it happened. You know, and like I think I don't know if it would like. You know, it's like you know, like it can be necessary. It can't be necessary. Like, you know, it's either or. But I just felt weird about it in contrast as to how like how you know Nono's being like, you know, her basically sexually harassed like a lot, and like it's like, you know, like, oh, it's like, you know, a joke and all that, but then she actually does like get into like horrible danger related to that, and it's like, oh, okay, that was a little weird. It
was weird.
It's like
to an extent you could view it also as another stage of commentary where the one dude who was constantly like hitting on her all the time, and it was like being gross, was actually meaningfully like helping her later on or whatever.
He was at some point.
And then the dude who seemed like he's like the nice guy ends up being that.
That's true. That guy did.
I don't know what they're trying to say. I'm just saying they're saying something.
There are layers to both, but but that was just something I felt to point out. It was like, ooh, I don't know. Makes you think, though.
I'm gonna bet the friggin' dudes from Gynax were trying to say us anime nerds are just
like us, you know. Just because we're looking at the boobies, it's fine. It's not like we'll be there for you when your car breaks down.
Right, and there was like, of course, there was obviously fan service in Gunbuster, but it was like, okay, it didn't feel like they didn't push the second thing, like, oh, we're gonna like have this scene where like, oh yeah, what if the girls like were thrown in a serious situation like that, you know? It was like, okay, it was just a random natural like, okay, fan service, you know, that's a weird way to say it, but you know what I mean, like it wasn't contrasting something serious, you know, that would develop later on.
Sense,
like, you know, Gunbuster, you had those baiting scenes and all that, you're like, okay, whatever, but there was nothing that got, you know, they didn't examine that even, you know, they didn't linger on that any longer than they needed to or wanted to. Like, oh yeah, the part where like, they were baiting, but then they're literally facing these open windows to space where all these like robots are passing by. Like, okay, yeah, that's kind of funny. They didn't realize that was happening. Stupid, but kind of funny. But they didn't linger on that anymore and use that as a weird vehicle for something kind of serious, right?
Does anyone want to say anything else?
They're both good though.
They are both very good.
They were both
I have
good.
one question about
Buzz,
and it's that at the first episode, Tycho is a talking cat, and I still don't know why that happens.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know why that happened either. I'm going to be honest with you. I just sort of in the next episode was like, what happened to the talking cat? And then I was like, wait a second. That's Miyuki Sawashiro.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it was Tycho the first time around, but on the rewatch, I was like, wait, why is she a talking cat?
Why is she a talking cat? Well, folks, that's our question for you this week on the podcast. Why was she a talking cat?
Anything can happen in the future. It's fine.
Fucking 15,000 years, you know?
Sure. All right, so we do have some opinions about Gunbuster and Diebuster that were sent in. If you want to send in questions or opinions about any anime, especially the ones that we're watching, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask, and you'll sound like these folks. Century Punk says, this is an opinion, there are a lot of things I want to say about Gunbuster, like how great Jung Freud and Noriko Takaya are, and how surprising it is that a sequel 16 years later would be so good and make good on lesbian subtext that was only implied in the predecessor. I could write about how much... I apologize if I butchered this word. Okairi, yeah. Okairi still makes me tear up, and how this series reinvigorates me for love of sci-fi whenever I return to it. Mostly, I just want to say, Super Inazuma Kick!
Hell yeah.
I just love Nora going, ah!
Yeah.
Like, just instantly
Yeah.
just screaming.
Her first scream, really satisfying. When the moment she
Yeah.
breaks, it's like, oh shoot, there it is.
I
Yeah.
hope my roommate didn't hear that.
Wow.
I agree with the lesbian subtext thing. I just want to say right now, because
Right.
that's something that all of Gunbuster, I'm like, damn,
God.
who cares about the coach? Whatever, just marry
Right.
each other, you weirdos. And then
Exactly.
like the next one's like, hell yeah, but then they have to do the thing they do with every lesbian story, you know. So
Right, like how can Noriko literally seeing Kazumi first time and it breaks into the whole like Doki Doki like shoujo bubbles.
This
like,
is the
how can
best
you
day of my life.
How can you deny that there wasn't anything there?
I know.
Holy shit!
All
It
right,
was
I'll-
beautiful.
I'll just throw out the true woke answer is that at the end of it, the princess.
The princess.
Lauk Malkamalar. Come on, it's
Yeah.
easy.
We will never learn this name.
Lauk Malkamalar.
Lauk and the One-sama from Gumbuster hookup. There you go. That's the
Yeah,
woke.
that's probably
Oh.
possible. They would be the same age. I didn't think about that. Because
Yeah,
What greater
exactly.
love is there than creating a second Big Bang to save your girlfriend?
There you go. All right, and Gregory Zero says, while I feel that final episode of Gumbuster is itself a masterpiece, the rest of the OVA is really lacking when observed with a modern eye. Diebuster, on the other hand, has a lot going for it, but I feel attempts to pay too much homage to the original in a way that feels too forced for it to be enjoyable on its own. I like both, but much like other Gainax shows, I honestly can't recommend either without any caveats. So I like you said this too, Trixie. I will say for me, I think that like the first like 3 or 4 episodes of Diebuster are enjoyable on their own, but I think like episode 5 and 6 don't play as well unless you've watched
Yeah.
Diebuster.
Yeah.
I think it's
sure.
just like the ending is where it's like you have to have watched the original, because
Yeah.
those first few episodes are just like this really good story about these two characters, but then like once they get like into like the big like end game shit, it's like, oh, this is because they have to, especially like the last scene is literally just like, wow, remember Gunbuster? Anyway, bye.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the impact of that wouldn't be, if it weren't for the fact that it's obviously like this was made in response to reference the
Yeah.
previous series, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine, that's
Yeah.
fine. Alright, that's it though. Should we move on to other shit?
It's a modern anime, I guess.
Oh, okay. One last thing I have to
Yeah?
bring up is that for most of Diebuster, they refer to Lil Arc as being part of a group, I think, or from a place called Candian, and I kept thinking they were talking about Canada.
I did too. I was with you. I specifically
Maybe.
thought up in New Hampshire, there's a place called Canada,
Damn.
and I just kept thinking like,
Oh my gosh.
Canada?
Mm-hmm.
What?
I mean,
What happened?
maybe like I can see some weight to that, because again, we don't realize, oh shoot, they're actually on Earth this whole time. What if like a lot of the country, right, there's an implication that a lot of the basic formation of the country seem fucked up at this point, so maybe the history of Canada, like knowing what Canada is, might be lost information.
I just realized something I was going to say is that I like the way that Diebuster is optimistic in a different way from Gunbuster, because Gunbuster has the optimism in the sense of like, even if you keep doing all of these, even if you have to sacrifice or whatever, something good can still happen and you'll still move on and stuff like that. Whereas Diebuster is like, maybe sometimes you don't have to sacrifice things, you know? And that's why I like that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that
that's
they're gonna
true.
blow up
That's
Earth.
true.
Because that's all they know how to fucking do is throw planets at things, I guess, in this universe. Like fucking fools.
It looks really fucking cool.
The
though, when they
ring
do
around
that.
the Earth is fucking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's even more poetic with those two different viewpoints of like what optimism is. It literally comes together at the end. Like, oh, they literally come together, and we don't see that meeting, but I bet it would have been great.
Sure. All right. Yeah, Rose, bring us into modern
All
times,
right,
please.
so here we go. Gurren Lagann. Now that's a...
No, not now. Gross.
no, okay.
I'm spraying you with a water bottle. Stop.
All right, let's see. Speaking of Anno, you were going to talk about this before, last week on the podcast, Trixie. Do you want to talk about his and her circumstances update at this point?
I finished it, and it is a batshit ride for sure.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so the show is fine, like normal fine, up until episode 15. Like, there's 4 recaps in the show, and the first 2 recaps are in episodes 13 and 14, which is like weird pacing. You can tell they had some problems, but Anno's still directing it. And then episode 16 is when he stops being director, and immediately the show is like entering into production hell. And the animation just gets steadily worse, even though everything seems fine. The moment that made my jaw absolutely drop was in episode 19, where most of it is animated with paper cutouts of all the characters, and like almost childish sketching of backgrounds. It was like, yeah, they sure had $10 to do this episode. Is quite an amusing spectacle. And then the final arc, which is an anime original arc, I should add, which they didn't even finish, it stops literally in the middle of the arc, introduces some weird, unfitting character who sucks, I can't even remember, and despite all that, I still really recommend this show. Which is something, because I don't feel like a show like this could be done again in quite the same way in the modern day. But it's a beauty, to be sure. I think Elvy's also seen the show, and you can attest to how bad shit it gets.
It definitely, it definitely went downhill. I mean, like, production-wise, but they tried, and I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, it was. They tried to play it off as like its own like artistic choice, but it's evident that, like, especially if you didn't know the history of like what was going on, if you probably saw this for the first time without the context of like the production drama and all that, like you can kind of tell something went wrong here, and this feels wrong, like especially with the weird introduction of a new arc that ended up not even being really fully explored of a character we don't really care for, which is a shame. And it would have been interesting to see, at least, even if they didn't follow like perhaps the manga's vision, if they sort of went their own direction and had some sort of ending. But it clearly was like, it was clearly over an ambitious endeavor, because I think even with, if looking at the series as a whole, they clearly were like going through, like, I don't know how to describe it, but well, okay, I think I do. They were exploring, like, I think arcs that were going to be much longer than they expected it to be as well. So
yeah.
This is like a story. This is like a series meant to be a really long series, and they just didn't have the capability of doing that.
It's like if there was a 3-core show that stopped in the second. The last arc is literally called 14 Days, and it ends on part 7, and it's not even done.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. I remember the titles
It
now.
was, I still recommend it, though. That's the fucked up thing. It's really, really fucking good, especially for the first half.
It definitely is, and it has a very iconic opening sequence. I definitely remember as well.
Yeah, it's the best. It's one of the better melodramas / soap operas I've ever seen, even with its wonky production hell.
Gainax had some problems.
Really
that's all I can think about. It's like, man, how do they allow? I mean, nowadays they're just like, don't fucking whatever, who knows? But like, how did they live?
It's
quite something.
That's a question.
Like, you live like this? Like,
It's especially amusing that it ended up being Anno's last TV anime anyway, because apparently he didn't like how how the animation or TV rules of that era changed after the Pokemon flashing incident, which he was really pissed about. So he just stopped doing TV anime, and also the fact that it came right after End of Evangelion, which is one of the most depressing things I've ever seen, and he just does this really upbeat drama / comedy-esque show. It's quite the ride, yeah. Gainax has some issues for sure.
Yeah, well, I like, what do they even do these days? Like, I'm legitimately like, I'm trying to think, because I know they do stuff. It's just,
I think like all of the Gainax people that mattered moved on to Trigger, and then
yeah, I know. Like, I'm trying to think. They still make anime though.
And
they make Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I'm looking here at their list of things, and they haven't made anything since 2015.
Their last series really was like 3 or so years ago. In terms of like one that went to syndication, I wonder if they I wonder if they're like one of the studios that takes also contractual work, and we just don't see that, right? And I'm pretty sure that's how. Yeah, like most studios do. You won't see this in the filmography. Like, oh yeah, they do a commercial, but like, why would you list that? That's not important, really. That's just for money, right? We need money to keep afloat. But
maybe they're just fucking doing fucking Ava 3.0 plus 1.0, and that's just taking all of their time and energy.
Yeah.
I don't know. A mystery.
We'll never know. We will never know.
They're surviving on clout, I guess.
Here's what I know. Gainax has also produced a number of computer games, including a strip mahjong game featuring Evangelion characters.
Is that the one with the Diebuster characters? I mean, Gunbuster characters as well?
No, that was one from like, that's how they like saved Gainax in the 90s. Is they made a bunch of like striptease poker games on the PC 98 that were like, here's one that's original characters. Here's one that's original characters. And then the third one, they were like, hey, here's Jung. Okay. Here's One-sama. Like, all right. Yeah, I guess fucking everyone from Gainax left and made fucking like Kara and Trigger and stuff, so whatever.
And Gonzo, there like literally there are like 4
Gonzo
studios that spin off of Gainax. How do they have staff left? That's even another question. Are there
You can just hire people, like, I guess, but like
are there people in Gainax at all? Or is
they
it
seem to be working on a film trilogy, I guess, right now, reading this for Zero Century. I've never heard of that, but I bet that's something.
Okay.
All right. I want to talk about 2 really short ones that I can go by that ended this week, I think. Or one didn't end, but I just want to say the Wise Man Grandchild anime is like one of the weirdest animes I've ever seen. Like, it's like the definition of like a nothing isekai, straight up, to the point where I forgot it was an isekai until I just said that right now, because they don't even reference it at all. He doesn't get any special powers by being, he's just it's funny every time they like, it's really funny because multiple times throughout the series, like, they'll be like, wow, your grandfather's Merlin, that's amazing, and Merlin will be like, I love him, he is my grandson, but unfortunately he's an isekai baby. And it would be like,
God.
Everyone will be like, oh no, you can't marry my daughter now. like
Jesus.
It's just funny. I just keep saying isekai baby. But the last episode introduced the Kingdom of Swede,
which is not Sweden, is it?
No,
not?
It's not.
Oh.
It's SWEED.
Oh, okay.
It's being attacked by a bunch of demonoids who are just people with red eyes. Not even red glowing eyes. I'm talking like they're fucking like, what are they called? The not the iris. The white parts of their eyes are just red.
Sclera, I think.
The sclera. They just have red sclera, and it just looks like they're weeded out also. So it's just extremely funny.
Well, they're attacking Sweet.
It just at one point cuts to this man who says exactly one line, which is, he's like, the main character man's giving a speech, and it cuts to this tower, and there's just this old man like there in the tower wearing a crown, and it puts this thing over the screen that says King Swede. And he just goes, excellent, my boy. And that's it. And that's all King Swede does.
Sounds like a Zelda CDI game.
No, I know. I was thinking of John when it happened. And the other thing I want to talk about is I don't think I talked about this much, but After Lost was an anime this season. It got a simuldub even. And it was the weirdest show I've watched in a while. In terms of like, it seemed like it had like a low budget, which is weird that it was a simuldub. I found out watching the last episode that it was a mobile game, which was also weird because it didn't seem like a mobile game. And then I found out it was a gacha-based visual novel where you roll the gacha to get idol songs, which also doesn't make sense because the show's not about idols. They just made the backstory of one of the girls is she's an idol or something. It was really weird. Anyways, the whole show was about this part of Japan just exploded and disappeared. It just disappeared in the giant holes there. And then, like, one girl survived, and she can do magic and summon a stand, who is just this man who makes 3,000 guns appear behind him. He never does anything successfully. I want to say that. But it's very funny, because he just makes 1,000,000 guns appear and dies.
None of those guns do anything.
No, he just fires. Wow. He like appears and he's like pew pew pew, and every time he just eats shit to something, and then like they're like no.
He has a poor strategy there. He's like firing them all at once.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
You're right. You're right. Because someone could just dodge it or block it. And then,
right.
What a fool. But yeah, it was just like this guy like taking this girl around, and then it was like halfway through they're like, oh yeah, they're from an alternate universe or whatever, and you're a half and half universe baby, and she's like, okay, what does that mean? And they're like, absolutely nothing.
Wait,
and it's like, okay,
not an isekai baby.
no, she's a half and half baby. Okay. And right. Like, yeah, and it was just so weird. And then like it just sort of ended and did like the thing. It felt like it thought that it was doing a lot more with its ending than it actually did. Is probably a mean way to say this, but like it like they were like, oh no, the man disappeared, but then at the end the man just reappears and leaves a little like balloon on her door or something. That was fucking weird. Yeah, you're seeing the gunman. Look at the gunman. He just appeared.
So
he never
stupid.
wins. He
So
he doesn't talk.
Looking. Oh my god.
He just floats exactly like that.
Is that
like
a headset?
fucking,
is that like a Bluetooth headset?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he has that in the show. Is that from the show?
I don't know.
It could be from the
pulled
game,
it
so I don't know.
It just looks like Reagan from Mob Psycho.
It does. That's what
He
makes
does
it
look like
worse.
that with red hair, but I think the funniest part is he's absolutely in that about to take a shit position every single time they summon him. Like he's just sitting in midair with all these guns. But like I said, the funniest fucking thing is he never wins, like ever. Like she pulls him out like multiple times, and like in the last episode, I think it was the funniest and saddest one where she pulls him out at the beginning. He instantly eats shit to a laser beam and just dies and like disappears. And then like 10 minutes later, she summons him again. He gets hit by the same laser beam and dies. It was so sad. And it was very weird because like the entire series was just like, okay, we're going to go to the After Lost place, which is what they keep calling the event, because like all the people disappeared. And it was like, okay. And it took them like 12 episodes to get to the place, even though it was like 3 miles away. And like they just kept like running into weird people and then like eating shit constantly. It was just like, this is a really weird story. Okay. It was weird. It was weird. It felt like they thought that they were legitimately telling like a larger story than they actually were, and I can't tell if that's because they adapted a game poorly because it is based on a game, or like if the game is like this too, because it's apparently a gacha game that they're remaking into something called Music Drama RPG, which is a terrible name, I just want to say. And it was very weird. There's a lot of like recent like, oh, this thing came out 5 years ago and now we're making an anime of it so that we can make a new game this season. It's really weird.
I think you like answered your own question. Maybe this was literally just like a PR.
Yeah.
We're gonna renew the license to this thing tactic.
I guess.
Yeah. Like, do you sense, like, you know, if this, I don't know if this is if this series is successful or had positive, like, do you sense
I don't
also they
think
would expand?
so.
Okay,
It had like a 5-star consistent rating out of 10
jeez.
on Funimation app, which doesn't mean anything, I want to say, but
I do wonder if it is, or which doesn't seem to be the case. You know, like they probably would have expanded on it more. But again, I feel like you were right that maybe this is just an opportunity to.
I think that, but a simuldub?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, you don't see that real, like, a simuldub. Like, the episode's coming out day and day. Like, same. Like, not even fucking, like, JoJo has that, you know? Like, it's weird.
Someone wanted this.
Oh, yeah?
I was just gonna say someone wanted this a lot for some reason.
There's one really funny scene in it that was that at one point a magician man claims he's going to make something like an entire building disappear, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is so exciting, haha!" I'm watching it on the TV, and I'm like, "Man, knowing that like a big event that caused this show to happen or whatever was like an entire city disappear, you think they wouldn't let a magician do this on TV anymore?" Like that feels like someone going on TV and like, "I'm gonna do a 9/11 real quick. Hold on, everyone." Like, it was weird, and I kept thinking about that the entire time. Why did they let that man go on TV and say that? Feels insensitive. Speaking of JoJo, I just referenced that. John, how's JoJo going?
JoJo is going, I don't know if I should say well, because it's getting down to the end, and shit is hitting the fan a whole lot. A lot of characters are dying. It's going through it. I mean, shit. This is like a over 10-year-old story. I'm not gonna worry too much about the spoilers.
It's way more than 10, isn't it? It's like 20.
Probably. But I don't. It's good. It's a very good part of this story. I'm still kind of down on part 5 on the whole, but I think this like last fight, the whole Diavolo like ending, is really interesting so far. We only got like 4 more episodes left, maybe less. So it's really going for it. The surprising thing though is that like they haven't even really started to fight him yet. Like it's still like leading up to it, and it's more just them trying to like set the stage. So it's a really different thing, because I feel like at this point in like Stardust Crusaders they were fighting Dio. Probably around this part in part 4 they were like at the very least like gearing up to fight Kira. But here it's just like it doesn't even feel like they're ready to fight Diavolo yet, because they're still like body swapped. So I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. It's very interesting, and I am looking forward to JoJo again, which is something that I wasn't saying a few weeks ago.
I'm glad, because I think that the ending to part 5 is better than most of part 5.
I can say that already. I can say that right now. Yes.
I really hope. This is something I've been hoping the entire time part 5's been going. Fucking just make part 6 like in a month, please. I'm begging you. Like, just don't make me wait like 2 years or whatever it was again. I can't do it. I need it. I need Jolene immediately. I need people to draw fan art of Jolene again, please.
Yeah, for real.
Please. I just want my wife back. I know what ended this week, actually. Speaking of endings, LV.
Yeah.
Dororo. I did it right this time.
Dororo ended. There were several series that ended, I believe. One of them being Dororo, 2 rows. Yeah, I mean, I know a couple of us here are watching it, so I don't want to say too much, right? We're currently watching it still. Haven't caught up with that, but I thought, man, that it's a pretty solid series throughout. I highly recommend it to anyone listening. I mean, what should I say about it? Like, being careful with my words not to spoil anything. But yeah, it was a pretty satisfying ending. It kind of ended in the way that I expected it to, or at least theorized how certain, like certain characters would face their fate. Like I feel like I mean, yeah, man. Again, I don't know what to say without spoiling it. I feel like anyone who likes a period or samurai themed series would enjoy this. Again, like mind the violence, and just to reiterate the premise for people who do not know what the series is. The series is a readaptation, because there was an anime adaptation of this like in the 60s of an unfinished Osamu Tezuka manga, which was basically about a swordsman. I don't think it's proper to call him a samurai because he's not officially a samurai. About swordsman basically getting his revenge by beating up these demons that are threatening the countryside, the land, because they stole his body parts. They stole his body parts. He was born missing body parts, and he somehow lived. And yeah, it's and like how the recent series approaches is, which animated by MAPPA. The action is really good. It's animated really well. Again, MAPPA does it. They don't hold back in showing how gross some of this stuff can be, And again, we're dealing with swords. People's body parts will be cut off and fly about, so that's something to be mindful of. So I've been after finishing this, I've been kind of on the hunt, finding a proper way to watch the 1960s series, which I know from my from what I've seen of it and some comparison clips people have done between the two series. It's definitely more goofy and definitely more targeted towards young kids, probably specifically like a young boys demographic, like waking up for weekend cartoons a lot. It seems like it will be a very weird contrast, but I kind of know what to expect. And the 1960s series is more accurate to Osamu Tezuka's more cartoonish art style. Every character is great. The villain, the main antagonist of the series, which is basically Hikamaru, the name of the main character. Basically the main antagonist of the series is this father who is a feudal lord, and he's the one who sold his he's the one who basically made a pact to demons, and that's essentially why Hikamaru is in the situation is that he wanted to preserve his political power, and basically literally sold his son to the demons to gain power. Yeah, it's a really cool series. It fills the void, and I talked to a lot of other people about this who watch the series. It fills the void that, once Rurouni Kenshin became awkward to now. For obvious reasons, this fills that void, I think, for a long while. I haven't seen any other, series that explores this time period in terms of the daimyo and the ronin. But I think this is one of those titles I think you should look into if you feel weird about watching Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
this
why
is definitely
I started watching it.
Yes, it's very good, and yeah. How do you feel about it?
I'm only 5 episodes in.
Okay, so I'm trying my best not to be
too
specific.
much. Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's hard.
But it's very good.
That's great. Yeah,
very good. Yeah.
I would say, after watching ending the, and my conclusions about the series, I would say the first act, aka the first season, is much stronger than the second act. There were definitely some weird. I think they didn't know what to do. So again, going back, this series was actually unfinished to begin with. The history of the series was literally Osamu Tezuka was I don't know what to do with this. I don't think anyone's reading. I don't know. He wanted to change the direction of what the series meant. There's the second, the secondary protagonist, which is a orphan child who's the title. Their name is the title, Dororo. They travel with Hikamaru and are basically they're basically trying to scheme people are oh yeah, here's my swordsman friend, we can kill off demons for you for money, and they're a great rascal, wonderful, love them. And the series initially was meant to focus on Dororo, and that's why the show's titled that. But then it became more of I think I don't know if this is the right way to say it. It became Dragon Ball syndrome, where the direction of the series became more action focused, more than the initial intent of what the series wanted to do. I think.
Yeah.
In the history of it, so the recent anime is great because I think it really goes in on no, we're gonna focus on the action aspect and make it a more serious driven story as opposed to kind of the more inconsistent like tone that the manga had, in what I assume the 19th. So like there's this kind of inconsistent tone you see in some episodes that they're easy to overcome, but I think season 2 especially had that issue where I think I believe some stories were anime original, like, and they and like I can kind of see that quality drop in some of them, which is unfortunate. But I think what the ending does in like the last few episodes, sort of like especially picks up on it and like makes up for it.
Yeah, it's very good. I would recommend just stopping before the last few seconds of the final episode, though, because of implicit transphobia, where basically Dororo is presented throughout the story as a boy. The story treats him and frames him as a boy. All the other characters treat him as a boy. Even the original manga, he clearly states, like, oh yeah, I'm a boy, I'm not a girl. And then there's a mini time skip where they show Dororo as a generic-looking young gal, and it sucks. So just stop before that, and you're fine, pretty much.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you for letting me know that, actually.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate that they went that direction too, because again, it was an unfinished source material, so like it would have been way. I don't know, like how they dealt with Dororo's like identity. Like I feel like it could have been. They could have done more with it. They could have like approached it in a way that was more thoughtful. Especially even in I believe in the 1960s show, Dororo has like a crush on the women as like throughout the series too, as a recurring joke, like, which was also weird as a child, but whatever. And they never really said on that, and again, it's a real unfinished thing. So like I feel like I don't know whose discretion it was to decide that Dororo's a girl actually this whole time. I don't know. It's very odd, but that is definitely something to be wary of as well, because it's always been ambiguous. Yeah.
And Dororo's treated fine otherwise in the story, just not that many time skip, which is very baffling to me.
It also wasn't a very, to be honest, a good time skip. I felt like it skipped out on like something. If it skipped out, I think, on a scene that I think could have developed it better. Yeah, but instead they said, like, we're gonna have this one shot, and nothing else happens. It's like, what? I kind of want to know more about the reunion, like, what happens in the reunion. But yeah. I do recommend it still, and I think it's an otherwise very solid series, front and back.
For sure.
I'm going to watch more of it, I promise. I'll do it soon. What have I been watching? I've been watching something recently that's been taking up all my time. Oh, Person of Interest, it's gone now. Goodbye, Person of Interest. I can watch things now. Yeah, okay. You know what? I just remember I was going to ask. John, Sarazanmai finished, and you like it. Because you liked it before. You were talking about how you liked it last week.
Yeah, as time went on, I liked it more and more, and then the ending was just really, really good, and I definitely think that everyone should watch it.
You ate your words in the end, just like you predicted. You yourself predicted it.
Yes. Yeah, so does that mean that I actually ate my words, or does that just mean that I was right about myself?
I mean, you said I'm probably going to eat my words near the. You kept saying that, like.
Then I ate my words. All right.
Yeah, you ate your words.
But I ate them happily. I went, ooh, thank you for my words. Put some hot sauce in those.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It's not like where you're like, maybe this will go bad, but I'm hopeful. It's the type of thing where it's like, oh, it's better.
It's fine.
It's good.
I will say though, it was thematically important and it made sense. But I still laughed at the fact that the show just ended with one of the characters going to jail for a while.
What?
Yeah.
It was still, like, it made sense. It was, fine, but I still was like, he's just in jail.
He's in prison.
I don't want to go too much further, because, it's a new show. People should watch it, but it was a little funny.
Be careful, your fave might get canceled.
That motherfucker was canceled from second one of that show, alright?
I feel like all of those characters were cancelable from the moment the show started.
Yeah, Sarazanmai is the problematic show. Everyone's a little problematic on that show.
Just like real life, you know what I'm saying?
It's true. You know,
Yeah.
all of us. Let those who haven't sucked fucking
Hey, what?
orb
I'm
out of
going with
someone's
this.
ass cast
Oh,
the first stone.
Okay.
We all have. All right, good.
I was writing down for the episode description. John says that you did not suck an
everyone-
orb out of an ass. Cannot throw
Everyone
the first
has.
stone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, now that's the one everyone has. Okay.
Everyone has sucked an orb out of someone else's ass. It's just
All
something
right.
that you do with your friends.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
What
Yes,
else?
John. We all did that. That's true. Yeah.
What else are you supposed to do with your friends? Like talk,
Nothing, John. It was completely normal. You're right. You had a normal time.
go out to eat, see a movie.
Play
What?
games.
No. Useless. Useless.
Useless.
In that sense, Sarazanmai is the most realistic show of the season.
Exactly.
What
You
are
tell-
video games but sucking a ball out of someone's ass? Really, though.
You
am I
telling me
right?
you haven't turned your friend into a kappa yet? Really?
No,
In
I have.
2019?
You know? I have. No.
In 2019?
2019. 2019? Still not a kappa? Huh? All right.
I sure hope you guys don't do this.
Oh. But yeah, you liked it?
It was very good. It was very good. I still stand by my claim that I think it could have been shorter. It could have been a movie, and that would have made it a little better. But I still think that it was a worthy watch, and I still liked it, and I still think it's that everyone should see it.
You know, this is semi-unrelated, but you know, I think I figured out what my problem with the Gunbuster movie is.
Yes.
Since it is just a straight recap and they just cut scenes out, I don't like that as opposed to the Gurren Lagann movies, which actually reformatted all of the events of the show to fit the new time format, which means like they added in new scenes and removed old scenes entirely. So like it helped to make all of the scenes still work in the same way. Whereas the Gunbuster thing just sort of cut things out. I think that's my problem with it.
That makes sense.
But that makes sense. They never sold it as anything but that, I guess, to an extent. So, I don't know. Trixie,
Yeah.
is it time?
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh.
It's over. First
it's
of all,
over.
we should say.
The evil
it-
has been defeated. For now.
Yeah, so Shield Hero ended
Shield Hero
today.
fucking sucks. It is terrible.
Um,
Oh no.
yeah, you want to start? Yeah, you should start. Go ahead.
I'm trying to even decide where to begin with this travesty. Shield Hero is incredibly misogynistic. It's boring. All the characters that are not the main three are completely worthless and are not written good at all.
To an extent, I would say almost like inherently the worst parts of the show even, because they often paint them as like such horrible figures, but they don't paint them as such. They construct them as horrible figures and then paint them in a positive light, like consistently.
Yeah, that's one problem. The other problem I've had with those characters is that all of the characters that are antagonistic to Shield Hero Guy are completely stupid, just
Yep.
for the sake of being stupid, so we can see that Shield Hero was the good guy all along. So
He's a nice guy.
yeah, so all of those antagonistic characters are just bad because the story needs to move forward. It's awful.
Yeah, obviously we talked about before on the podcast, but the whole like renaming
Malty, I think. No, wait, which one?
No, it was Multi Sister. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It was mine, I think.
I think she's literally named Malty instead of Melty.
Oh.
Fuck, that's gonna make me so mad now.
Oh, I thought it was like either way, like her being renamed to fucking what was
Slut.
it? Slut bitch or something.
Yeah.
Like it's like that was
and
like
the entire audience, because they were supposed to be
applauds and it's like,
executed, but Shield Hero Guy decides that he has some sort of conscience and goes to stop it, and just instead of executing them, her and the king, who try to who also treated him badly, he just renames them to a round of applause from the queen and the audience.
And the king just gets named like stupid as opposed to, the other one.
Yeah. Like you can't just do something like name the king trash and then name the girl slut bitch. Even if she was evil, that's just gross.
It's also like you can never take the evilness like seriously because it's so fucking like barefaced, like insane levels of evil, like to the point where it's like, oh yeah, so her life was spared now or whatever after she like asked for it and he had a conscience or whatever. Now we're going to show her poisoning him instantly right after or whatever.
Yeah,
it's so fucking stupid. Like
even before that point, like her evilness was just so blatant. I was wondering like how no one else.
I know, right? Yeah. Well, because they all have to look stupid, right? Because he's the genius man.
They all have to be oblivious to her, except for the most obvious moments where they think, something's not right, and then they just forget that she's blatantly evil. She tries to assassinate her own sister multiple times in front of everyone else, and no one notices, I guess.
Yeah. Like, there's one particular instance, I think, like, halfway through the series that is just, like, outright, like, insane that everyone is just like, oh, this is normal. Like, she, like, literally, like, makes a giant fireball and goes, I'm going to hit you with this, sister. I hate you. And everyone's like, damn, be careful. You might hit her. I don't know.
One of the other heroes is like, that doesn't seem quite right. And she's well, she deserves it. And that's, like, an acceptable excuse. Like, are you kidding? God.
I think the hands down worst thing that happened in the ending was one of the very last scenes of the ending is literally the slaver man who he bought his slaves from, by the way, again, because the show tries to just ignore this constantly, that they're slaves.
Yeah.
The slaver man's like, damn, he was my golden goose and now, he won't be around that much anymore.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's fine. He got me so much money.
And I can rely on my other best client, mysterious person who works for the queen.
Yeah, and it's like the idea that like he was even still associating with that man when he started to become like a quote unquote anti-racist man or whatever the fuck.
It's even better because Slaver Man is the comic relief whenever he appears as well.
It's insane that they portray him like that, right? Like, it was like the entire time I was just like, how are you positioning this character as like any sort of like reasonable person?
Yeah.
To any degree.
It's I still can't get over the fact that Shield Hero Guy literally just has two slaves in his party, and for one of them, he literally instills a magic bond or whatever on Philo to keep her in his party, and then she's accepting of it. Like, only Raftalia, I think, even, like, has... fuck, I don't know. It's gross.
It's just, there's probably going to be another season next year.
There absolutely will be. Crunchyroll's going to promote the shit out of it.
Yeah, when Crunchyroll was posting, like, make sure you watch the season finale, I was like, okay.
All right, here's what I'm going to say right now, is when it gets down to it, even if you were to ignore all of those bad parts, it is literally like a half-heart, like when the parts where it's good, it's like a half-hearted Log Horizon. I don't know if you've ever seen Log Horizon, but it's like the same exact like.
I have seen Log Horizon.
Okay, so you know how
I've not seen this show though. So.
You know how Log Horizon has that sort of minute focus on like mechanics and stuff like
yes.
that. And talking about, so it does that in this too, but it doesn't even go as far as Log Horizon, and also none of the characters are like the Log Horizon characters.
Right? Yeah, they don't sound like.
I think Raftalia is the only character in that show that I even cared about. And
I liked the bird girl who had 3 ahoges. I thought that was really funny.
Oh, yeah,
and that the implication is that the more ahoges you have, the more powerful you become.
Yeah, she's literally the queen of, like, the Philolos or whatever. That's indicated by her number of ahogas, which is really.
I just like that. That's like the one thing that really got me. I was like, damn, that's a good idea.
Yeah, it really was. This show doesn't even do anything like special that other isekais.
You couldn't get out of something else, right? Exactly.
Yeah, like even the most boring ass isekais that I've seen, or like they have more merit than this. Like I was even reading like negative reviews of Shield Hero from fans of the show who are like, yeah, this show doesn't do anything that other isekais don't. Like, that's insane to me. Like, and I guess God, the best arc in the show is apparently just from Final Fantasy as well, where
oh yeah, the
heroes
thing
from
we were
another
talking
world.
about. Yeah, the heroes from another world. Where I was saying like, yeah, it's literally like the same time it was being published, or like a little bit after that, was like Final Fantasy was doing like the exact same storyline.
That's crazy.
And like seeing how this game how they interpret the game to work, I know that the person who made this plays Final Fantasy.
I definitely believe it. Yeah, it's that's just crazy to me. Even its best material isn't anything special. Apparently the best arc in the whole thing is literally at the start of would be the start of the next season, where Shield Hero guy goes to the underworld forcibly with the other heroes, and because the other heroes are the only good characters in this show, that's the only good arc, really. Although I'd have her later on that Shield Hero guy gets more slaves from Raftalia's friends, and Raftalia encourages it, and all those friends become his slaves as well, but willingly.
That's great.
He's a nice slave master, so.
Yeah. I mean, this episode ended with him becoming a lord over the fucking like land that didn't have any.
Yeah, like
relation to
he's the
queen.
lord of the demi-humans region, because he's not racist, and he's totally a nice slave master, so.
Don't worry, guys. I'm not racist. I'm just a slave master. Okay.
Yeah.
Equal opportunity.
God.
It's over now. We don't have to see Crunchyroll talk about it every week and post their weird articles where they're like, read about the fans' stunning response to Naofumi's epic win, or whatever the fuck that Crunchyroll publishes every week.
Every week without fail. It's embarrassing almost. I have like a list of the good points in Shield Hero, and most of it is still half-hearted. Like I'd say the music was okay.
Yeah, I'd say that.
It's serviceable. The part where all the heroes in the final arc end up training to the same island first. That was a joke, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good MMO joke.
Yeah. Class. One of the other heroes. She was cool because she wanted to kill Naofumi.
Yeah, she was.
That was her sole character point, and she was good for that. God. This fucking show.
Yeah. It certainly was. I was about to say it certainly was something, but honestly, I think from what we're saying is it honestly was a lot of nothing.
A lot of nothing, yeah, and the somethings that were there were bad. But I'd even say that the premise of the show, of like, not like the show itself, but the premise of like a protagonist being quote unquote wronged by the world and trying to clear their name, like, that's not a bad idea.
No, yeah.
It's, especially in an isekai setting, that's pretty unique, but Shield Hero has to do it in such a misogynistic, gross way.
Weird, yeah.
Where, was there even, like, a single girl character that wasn't either blatantly evil or a slave?
The Queen.
Oh, yeah. And
I think it was funny when the Pope was called the Pope.
Yeah.
He was not a woman. He was just a man. But I was just thinking about how he was just called the Pope as opposed to like the Cardinal or something like that, like they always do.
He's just a pope. But
And then he dies.
yeah, and that
That whole bit
battle
was weird. That was like
it wasn't like I thought they were gonna go into the politics of the world or whatever, but no, it's just evil pope.
it was like legitimately like, oh, evil Pope appears, attacks. This takes place over 2 episodes, and then he does like a giant attack to kill the Pope or whatever that poisons him, and it's like, damn, what will this poison mean? And then like 2 episodes later, he gets cured of it, and it's like, oh.
And God, so the fucking rage shield or whatever, because now Fumi unlocks it by being turned against for the world. So that's his special power with the shield, is that he becomes very angry and his shield can do fucked up things. And
Yeah, it's
just
fucked up.
when they're about to explore that territory in a possibly interesting way, he gets saved by the power of friendship
Yep.
by his slaves.
And not even a good Tower of Friendship moment, just like very, wow, master, we love you. And it's like,
None of the battles in Shield Hero really had any force or punch behind them. They were kind of limp, honestly.
they were like the definition of a turn-based battle, like all the way, where it's just like person A does their big attack, waits for them all to just sit there for 10 minutes and talk, and then attack back, like in the worst possible way, with like, there were never any real back and forth moments, if you know what I mean. It was just a lot of like escalation between various strategies, honestly, and not even in the way like when Log Horizon does it, it's interesting, okay? Because they like lay out like, because like like in that, when they have Shiro explain everything, like he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to explain like I'm a tactician and here's why this works, and the basis of this.
There's
and
like
then you see it play out.
It's a literal like funny kind of self-aware thing on like, you know, we're gonna actually thoroughly like, we're actually gonna literally explain the mechanics to you, and like, yeah, it's more
like,
thought out.
Yeah, and it works well, I think, for the most part in that show. Like when they did the raid arc in that show, when they did the big raid, like that was cool.
Yeah.
But then like this is like none of that. This one is, instead of, it's like the worst parts of Dragon Ball Z, where it's just like, but like even then Dragon Ball Z has those moments where it's like, you know, Goku and Frieza, for example, like running back and forth, shooting a bunch of beams at each other and stuff. Like, there's at least that. There's none of that in this. It's all just like one hit, back away, talk for 5 minutes, one hit from the other side, repeat, like over and over again.
I didn't even consider that aspect. Like, I thought, like, the framing of battles and, like, the way the camera work was made the battles very weak, except for arguably the final wave battle and the Naofumi's battle against the other heroes, which was, it was still not great, but it was at least a step up from everything else, maybe. Ugh. Fucking Shield Hero.
It's okay, we're free now. It's fine.
I never have to watch season 2, because I know this shit is beyond the pale.
Yeah, you kind of kept hoping like there was something, or like even like in the last episode, I still had like this weird glimmer somewhere in me that thought that they were going to say something. But they didn't.
They didn't. Yeah.
No, they just kept going back to the same shit.
Yeah, and this still isn't even the worst anime I've ever seen, which is the saddest thing. I think it was competent for what it was. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know if I would take this over Darling in the Franxx, but it's a close call. That's my take on this Shield Hero anime.
LV.
Yes.
You do not like King Bungo Stray Dogs?
That's the problem. I love Bungo Stray Dogs.
Okay, I was gonna say, because I like what I've seen. It is a very vicious cycle.
I make many bad choices in my life. And this might be one of them, because I do love this series, but man, it's so exhausting. Well, okay, I'm gonna go into it for people who are not aware. Now, this show has been, in season 3 for some time now, and as of this recent anime season. So the premise of this show, First of all, the creator of the show is named Kafka Asagiri. I don't think that's the real name. That has to be a pseudonym.
Tells me.
Something tells me. I do not think Kafka is the real name. But anyway, as I'm going to go into, I think there's a reason why they chose their name as Kafka. They might be referencing the real Kafka because the premise of this show is literally a bunch of these people with supernatural and kind of otherworldly powers. They're all named after like real literature. They're named after real authors. They're named after real authors that are known across Japanese literature, classic authors. So, likely authors that people would study in high school or something that would be required to read, or maybe they're known in popular culture. I don't know. But see, as someone who's American, I watched the show and it's not weird. So I don't know the context of most of these authors, and what are familiar. But essentially, they're not like, just to avoid confusion, they're not literal re-representations or moe admiralizations of these authors at all. No, they're just characters that happen to have their names, but also an important thing is that their powers are basically referencing the author's works or actual allusions to what the authors have made, their literature, all that. And there's even some elements of these characters' lives that are referencing the actual author, but again, they're not supposed to be direct clones of these people or they're just like these weird surface representations of these people. And my reading of the backstory of the development of this series, it's a manga first, so it's based on a manga. The creator just wanted they just wanted a premise oh shoot, what if these famous authors just fought out and beat each other up. So but essentially they came to this. They're not literally the authors. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with this series, even though I've been following it since season 1. So essentially I'm gonna start off if someone likes things like Baccano or blood blockade battle it's stuff like that.
Very Baccano.
Yeah. So if you like things where there's interesting kind of what's the word where something is displaced in time, something that's feels a little period. Anachronistic. Okay, the series is very anachronistic. If you like things that are that very harkens to a lot of Western period stuff, Prohibition or very old timey action thriller stuff, you would like this. Crime. It's essentially this is a crime mystery series revolving around these gang factions, trying to secure their stakehold over the city Yakoma. So and yeah, that's really the premise. And everyone has these powers, and that's why it's crazy because they're trying to outwit each other and all that, but they have these crazy powers, and it's just causing a huge ruckus. So the main character Atsuhi or I can't pronounce. Well, Nakajima. He's very self-loathing. He's he's very self-loathing. He came from an orphanage, as we will find out. Most of the characters were orphans. Great. And he runs into basically Osamu Dazai, and if that's a famous Japanese literature author name. Who leads him on to join the detective agency. Essentially, they solve crimes and with their powers, but also because of the turf wars going on, they still have to beat up these other people, whatever. Their main rivalry is with the Port Mafia, which is a big threat. They're kind of at first they seem to be these antagonists, but eventually they kind of turn more into Team Rocket to a sense where okay, they're not really the biggest threat. There's more shit going on in the world. And what's cool about the series is that you find out more, they try to expand upon why do these powers exist, how and how these powers mesh up with each other is very unique and all that. But yeah, essentially, too long didn't read. It's just a series with a bunch of these very eccentric characters with these crazy powers, and they're trying to secure their stakehold in this city. I said the word anachronistic because the character designs don't make sense. I don't know if they're actually in Japan. I don't know where they are. They have Japanese names, but I don't know if they're actually Japanese. So you have some of these characters dressing up 1920s labor workers, but meanwhile there's these other characters wearing very traditional clothing. It's very displaced and out of time. It's cool, and you see things you see the background characters and crowd shots here and there, and they're just people wearing normal clothes. But meanwhile, the main characters are not wearing normal clothes. So I'm not sure what time period this is in. But it seems like it's today. But none. And then it's a regular city with cars. It seems like it's contemporary, but the main characters are not dressing to reflect that. And I'm gonna go into even further. At some point, eventually, you know, literature, right? Literature is a big world. It's not limiting itself to just Japanese authors. What's even more exciting, and Rose, you're watching it, right?
Yeah.
How far are you into it?
I'm only halfway through season 1.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to spoil too much, but it's inevitable that we run into Western authors. So me, again, as an American, this is where it gets even crazier, because now I know who these names are, and I'm losing my mind, having flashbacks to high school.
Who's the fucking... the one I've heard about that I really like the most, conceptually, is the guy who uses money to just do anything.
Yes, all right. So there's also... We are introduced eventually to the Guild, which is the people comprising of the people named after American authors, which is Francis Scott Fitzgerald, who wrote The Great Gatsby. So his power is he literally throws money up in the air, and he can do whatever the fuck he wants, depending on what that money quantifies as. His money is literally privilege, and I lost my shit, like, the moment it was explained, and he is one of the greatest characters in this series. It's fucking insane. So then you have other, just going down the list of, like, how crazy this is, you have other characters like, Edgar Allan Poe is a character. I kid you not. And he's exactly what you expect. He's like this sad goth boy who just sulks all the time. He has a pet raccoon. Lovecraft is a character. His power is like tentacles. That's like, okay, great.
Of course.
Yeah, of course, expected. But yeah, that's just an example of like, I'm using the American, like the characters named after American authors as just like an example of like really what the premise is. Again, it's just a bunch of strange characters loosely based off of like existing authors, and like their powers revolve around them. Okay, I love this series, but why do I hate myself? Okay, so again, like it's animated so well. I feel like season 1 started off very slow. To be honest, I don't know how you feel about that, Rose, but season 1 started very slow, but I think it's really taking its time to build up the world and like really setting this, especially the main character, who at first kind of feels annoying, but trust me, like you will root him on eventually. What was I gonna say? I think season 2 and season 3 is where it really picks up, and season 3 right now is pretty phenomenal. I feel like the animation production quality really shot up all of a sudden as well. But yeah, it's like a never-ending cycle of basically just these people fighting each other. And despite the fact that I think like the animation is, the animation's great, the battles are amazing. So there's one character, Osamu Dazai. He's the secondary main character, who's the one who helped Nakajima into the detective agency to begin with. His power is basically just nullifying other powers. So with stuff like that, they get really creative about like how those things work. Like there were like, I don't know how to describe it, but I just remember there were very creative things they done with how some powers react to others. Another character, his skill is basically he has control over gravity, so he can make himself really heavy essentially. So like he uses his body to weigh himself down, or like it helps amplify his strength. There's another character who I also love. She's basically like the healer of the detective agency. She's like the doctor. Her power is healing. But the side effect of her, the requirement for her power is that someone basically has to be on the verge of dying to heal at all. So she has this sadistic personality trait where she actually beats up and like horribly like mutilates people even more before she has to heal them, and like it's like, Jesus Christ, this is terrible. But also the show is pretty great. Really, I think the takeaway from the show is that like these are like I made a joke about like everyone's an orphan. That's true. Everyone in the show is literally an orphan, and they just ended up like in a gang or something. That's literally the premise of the show. And like I think a big thing they're doing with season 3 right now, and if you watch the ending song, like it seems like a whole thing about the show is about like accepting yourself. You're like weird and different, but you should embrace yourself. And like every character has this weird thing about like having poor, they have poor, like about something about them is like they strongly like hate themselves or something like that. Like they feel deeply alienated because of their powers or something like that, or like they don't know what to do. And all of them have like kind of the same backstory of like, they, again, like they're either an orphan or something about them made them leave their family, or they have family problems. So they turn to this life of kind of crime, or like turn to these different organizations to find a place in their life. And that seems to be the takeaway from the show. And yeah, I often have problems with shows with huge casts, but with a show like this, I think they did a good job and service to like show what everyone is about and make everyone interesting enough where I want to care and want to know more about these characters. I don't think I'm overwhelmed with like, oh, I don't care about this one character just because there's like 50 other of them. So my main problem with the show is that they often like, again, you have these battles, you have these fights. They're really cool. I think they handle it very creatively. But they often just pull like Deus Ex Machina shit. So okay, so with a whole thing of like, okay, you have all these different supernatural abilities that you can't really explain in a comprehensible, sensible way. There isn't really any rule for it. Just there's a lot of times where you have a battle and like these two characters are struggling with each other, and then out of nowhere another character comes in like, oh shoot, by the way, like it has that problem where like a lot of these conflicts resolve without proper like logic to get to them. In addition, this is a mystery show, so the main characters like focus on like solving crimes and all that. But then it's like it has like this Ace Attorney effect, and I love the Ace Attorney franchise. I love those games, but it has this kind of Ace Attorney problem where like the conclusion is just made up on the spot, and apparently that was the true conclusion this whole time about solving a crime. For instance, like again, I'm not going to spoil anything because I'm not going to mention specific characters. But there's a case that comes up where someone is basically they were planted. They didn't really kill someone, and they found footage where like, oh yeah, like that's you on the security cam footage, and they literally do the enhanced zoom thing. It's really good, enhanced zoom, like that's your face, and then turns out like in the end like, oh, plot twist, like one of the main characters realizes, oh, your face was actually just manipulated on the footage this whole time. You didn't actually do the murder. This other character we didn't even introduce early on in the episode did it this whole time. Also, by the way, here's this other fact about this character that he did. Like, it's just like they're just pulling out this information at the end of the episode to resolve like a problem. But yeah. It's not really a mystery show in that it's an action show, and like it claims to be a mystery show, but I don't think it does. It doesn't have well written mysteries, but nonetheless, it's a fun show, and I would highly recommend it for just the variety of characters that I think like I love all of them, even like the more despicable characters. Like I think there's something to be loved about it, and it's no wonder it kind of does have its like own big like fan base in a way. Yeah, that's pretty much my take on the show.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun with it.
I'm having fun and I'm exhausted, so it's like, and I'm gonna keep watching it and just like, oh god.
I'll get around to watching it one of these days. I was watching it and I was enjoying it, but it feels like the type of thing where I had to watch I gotta watch like a bunch of this at once, You
do. Again, I stick by my opinion that season 1 kind of feels slow, and a lot of people feel that way too. I don't know if you noticed, but season 1 reuses all footage for new reason.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
But like remember that time in the orphanage where I was abused? Like it shows the same clip that we saw like 10 seconds ago. The production quality definitely improved season 3. I don't know why they did that season 1, but it's very. Ugh.
Well, still sounds fun. John, I have a request for you.
Yes.
Can we push the Pokemon Minute to next time so you have more episodes to talk about than just one? Okay, then let's talk about Bocchi ending. Because Bocchi ended, and that can be our last topic before we get into questions. Bocchi. It was good. What did everyone else think who watched it?
It was very good. Extremely heartwarming. This is something that Shield Hero is gonna have to shield himself from my blows because I'm gonna punch him in the fucking face because
Wow.
Bocchi deserves a season 2.
Yeah.
Instead. I want Bochi to have $1 million budget, or more than $1 million, because I feel like $1 million might actually be low. I don't know how money works or math, but it's good. It's really good, and it's heartwarming, and it's what we need in these trying times. We all need friends. We need to make friends. We need to be friends with each other. I believe in Bochi.
Yeah.
I want a second season already.
I really like Dojo Mayo-sama, which is a really good name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hattori Bochi has permanently fucked me up forever, because every time I watch an anime and someone says they're alone, I'm like, you're not Hattori Bochi. Shut up. You're not the real one. But yeah, I think Bochi's friend is still really fucked up. That opinion has not changed. I think she needs to get a grip.
I think there has to be some bigger or more satisfying reason or explanation in the manga that we haven't
I think
seen.
she's a damn fool. That's what I think. I mean, did you see her in that Shrine episode where she's just wearing a summer outfit for some reason?
Damn.
I think she has a couple screws loose. I don't know. It's just cute. I love anime Virgil girl who won't be friends with anyone and keeps just saying the weirdest fucking shit all the time and being a weirdo. She's great. And I just want more. I want more of it, and I hope they do more of it. Alright, I think that's about it. I think that's all the shows we watched that ended this week. I wanted to try to get the stuff that ended that we all watched. But I think most of the stuff we're watching is still going, like JoJo's a while, and Kimetsu no Yaiba is still, like, not even halfway there. Alright, John, do you want to take us out with questions and opinions?
Yes. If you want to send in a question or an opinion, it's videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. First one is from Anonymous. Why are tracksuits such a common piece of clothing worn by protagonists in harem anime? I was watching Sekirai recently when I began to notice this pattern.
I don't know, I just feel an attachment to them. I think they're really good.
Bro, just shut up.
I like tracksuits, they're cool.
Harem protagonists really love tracksuits. Yeah.
I don't know what's up with it. I think it's just because a lot of people wear tracksuits in Japan. I think it is a thing, from what I've gathered from watching TV dramas.
Yeah,
Easy to wear.
Yeah, I guess it's just comfort clothing. I don't see any.
Make it easy to just rip them off, maybe. So
I guess it's just a recognizable thing, and they choose the character to have that.
Listen, you want the real reason? I'll give it to you. It's because the tracksuit's often associated with a slob type character who doesn't know how to dress themselves or like take care of themselves. And so then it shows, like, in a harem anime, it's like, even you, slobby person at home, can have 1 million girls. Just buy our figures and DVDs. And that's why.
That was so trash.
Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
Actually, yeah, no. Now that you brought that up, yeah. Shoujo, like a lot of the female protagonists, when she's like in a bad state, or like, oh, you have a character like, quote, ugly, end quote, not really ugly. They try to paint them as an ugly, like when they're like, and not when they're considered, you know, as the story puts them out to be, like not beautiful, or like the character's like in a tracksuit and like geeky glasses. She probably has like an unflattering headband on. Her hair is tied
his
in.
and her circumstances.
Oh,
right?
yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. That's I guess it's considered like there's no effort put into what you're doing because it's like comfortable clothing.
I know how that feels.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mighty Boss Stones asks, the anime devil appears before you and offers to give any anime you want a new season, but in return, all of the summer season anime this year get delayed for a whole year. Do you take their offer?
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nichijou
yeah.
too.
Yeah, I'd be down with that. Yeah, I mean, because, like, I'd be fine with delaying Dr. Stone and Lord Almaloy and, like,
Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga. Yeah,
And the Panty Pansy found in the clubhouse.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. No, I can't. Oh wait, I changed my mind. I take it back. I need that now.
I need it.
I need to know who wrote the letter.
Rose, I'm gonna throw this out there and see if this changes your mind.
Okay.
What if Promare was also included in that?
That's fine. I already have to wait forever. If I have to wait another year, whatever.
All right.
Because Nichijou too.
Yeah. I'd sell my soul for Girls Last Tour second season, so delaying summer anime is fine.
I was gonna say all of our answers should just be Nichijou.
Yeah.
I agree with Nichijou. I've always wanted a Hyoka second season, which I don't think will ever happen at this point. When the author themselves doesn't even want to, they have their own hiatus with their own life novels, so I don't even know what's going on with that. But the series itself only adapted the first one anyway, so I don't know. The first one did a little bit more of the others, but don't know if that will happen.
Let's see here. All right. We have an opinion from Harlequin Wheels. Starzon might ended good, but I think it would have benefited from being longer. Jeez.
Fucking going for your throat, John.
Wheels fucking going for me. And then also Bocchi Season 2, please. We agree. Question. Question, favorite character, OPED, end show of the season? Boy. Alright.
That's so loaded. Okay.
Okay, I need to find this ending, so you keep talking, but I have a joke answer, and I'm going to show it to you when I find it.
Favorite character, probably Bocchi. Favorite opening? Probably the Bocchi opening too. And then ending, definitely Sarazanmai, no question. Sarazanmai one whipped ass. And then favorite show of the season, I think, is Bocchi, but Sarazanmai is also up there. Just really good shows this season. So,
yeah, Bocchi's my answer for 3 out of 4 of those. The only thing that I would change is the opening answer, which it's close competition, but I would say that Dororo has my favorite opening of the season, even though it's a second
Party's over.
Yeah. Tight as hell. Actually, no, I changed my mind. Carol and Tuesday. That's a...
Oh, yeah, I still need... I'm just waiting for it to come out at this point. It's too late. I'm just like, yeah, I'll just put it on Netflix. I'll wait.
Fair.
For my favorite ending, I want to position this as like a joke answer before I say something actually real. And it's that in the... randomly in the 6th episode of Wise Man's Grandchild, all of a sudden, instead of the usual ending, they just had this like virtual YouTuber appear in MMD and just start dancing to the ending.
Oh, hell yes.
And it's because the virtual YouTuber sings the song. She won a contest to be in, and it looks really not good. It looks really not good. And this just happened like at the end of an episode with no like warning or anything, and it was like, it's really not good. But real, I like the opening to Fairy Gone, which I think I'm the only one who even knows that exists. And ending, honestly, the Senko-san ending, mostly because every time I saw it, I knew we were going to go to Super Senko time.
Hell yeah.
Freedom.
My favorite opening is the first Dororo opening, Fire. It's really good. They made a mistake by changing it. Like, that's, I don't know why.
Oh, they changed it? I didn't even know.
Yeah, it's not for season 2. And I'm like, why would you do that? That's fucked up. It wasn't even. It's not that great. It's definitely not as good.
I think the opposite. I like him more.
Oh,
Wow.
Really? Interesting. Okay.
Conflict emerges in the podcast. No, I'm sure they're both good. Listen, the best anime opening, and they knew it because they kept it for 50 fucking episodes, was the Log Horizon opening, where it just goes database, we're living in the database, whoa-oh.
Damn.
My favorite ED would be, again, it's so far off. But the recent season of Bungo Stray Dogs ending song is is very great, but I think I like it because of the juxtaposition of the sequence itself, where it's literally just shots of the characters crying. It's shots of the characters crying and being sad.
Okay.
No, okay, but I think I went in earlier about the series where the show really is about accepting yourself, and like for a show that's really action paced, it really hones it on the psychology show where like it's usually characters crying and like, you know, falling into their feelings and holding. I don't know. It's like a very touching ending sequence, and the song itself actually is good. But I think with those two elements combined, I don't know. I find it both funny and touching, as bad as that sounds. It's a good song though. It might be too soon, but I love Nezuko from Demon Slayer. Like, I don't know.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, she's adorable. Like,
She's,
it's just like, like dog girl, basically.
She is like a dog girl, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was the... I feel like I just remembered what what I was going to say the best opening was, and then I completely forgot it again. Well, I said Fairy Gone before, but then I thought of another one. Oh well.
Okay.
It was good, I promise.
Horror Errors asks, which we haven't talked about this show in a bit, but if you were an Oni on Kimetsu no Yaiba, what would your blood demon art be? So I guess what would our attack be if we were an evil demon from Demon Slayer? Mine would be I would like ham bone on myself, and I would just like go like, and then like, it would, like shoot out a bunch of like shock waves. Mm-hmm. That would be my power.
I'd be a sleepy demon, and my snores would just crash down upon all the others.
That's
you can't do shockwaves. I just did shockwaves.
Well, it's not a shockwave.
It's like it's like it makes a manifestation, like it makes like the characters for a snore noise, and then it just
Like
falls on them. Yeah,
that's what I was going for.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll let it slide this time.
Thank you.
I just want like vampire charisma. Mm-hmm. Then I can just have like cool knights to fight for me and stuff.
You gotta have you gotta shoot something.
Why should I shoot people at people instead? I'm like, haha,
You gotta
go.
fucking shoot some shit. Don't.
What, you just got mad at Trixie for implying that she was gonna shoot some shit because it was stealing your van.
Use shockwaves, which
To
was
be-
similar.
To be honest, if I was like some weird gremlin in general, I would be like literally like there's tons of these. I would be one of those really harmless ones, but like I would just be a hindrance to humans. I would be like one of those that would
You're a
duende. I would just be one of those that would squat in the corner and steal your snacks. I don't want to hurt you. I just like want to steal your shit. Like I just like want to take up space in your house, take up shelter. Thank you for your service. I will be on my way, sir. Like I don't need to do anything else to you. You can live.
But
Live another day.
Elvie, what would you shoot?
What is with this with you?
What do you want me to shoot?
What would you shoot out of you?
And sometimes you do a buster beam. How about that? There you go.
Right. Okay, if I did have a power, I would have some sort of like acidic drool thing.
Oh, that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah. Or licking people, licking people.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I do the Giga Drill break. That's what I do.
Okay.
So you shoot.
What do you shoot?
All right. All right. Let's see here. Two more. We got Century Punk asks, is there a show that's maybe not great but hit you in the perfect time and place?
Kill la Kill. That's my hot take, because I like Kill la Kill, but it has so many issues. But also, at the time, I was like, damn, I love Gurren Lagann, I want more. And they gave me more, kind of. And also, it was about a girl instead.
That is true.
When I was 11 or 12, I stumbled upon the Shaft anime Panty Pony Dash, and it was one of the first shows I ever saw, and it's 26 episodes long, and I watched it in one sitting, more or less. So that's my answer.
Wow.
Casually binged the two-core show as a kid, just 'cause.
Man, I miss those days. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't have that energy anymore.
Yeah, for real.
Let me tell you about the experience when I was younger of watching Good Good Fairies on Crunchyroll in a dark room, sleep deprived as fuck. That show is stupid as hell, but just it's my kind of dumbass humor, I guess.
Hell yeah.
So like it's just like they're asking like what impacted you or
I don't think it necessarily has to like impact you per se, but it could just be like, hey, what's the show that's like maybe not great, but like you like it just because of like where you were at the time.
Oh yeah, I Chobits.
Oh, that's yeah.
That's something. Yeah, definitely not formative, I would say, but I think it was one of those first shows that I saw when I was entering my teenagerhood. Like, oh yeah, I'm so mature. Watch this. Look, she's naked. That's cool. Yeah, Chobits. Oh god.
Did you see that part where he
touched her?
pussy?
Hey, what is wrong? Only I'm allowed to say pussy on this podcast, John.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. Man, I would probably Elfenlied actually more. I think I saw those shows at the same time.
Man. You're pulling out like the fucking home runs right here. Like
Elfie's fucking just cracking that bat.
I know, this is the problem. I think I saw them because whatever my cable provider was at that time, a lot of those shows were like grouped in together as like no thought whoever like scheduled the programming or like got the license, like they were kind of just like grouped together as a choice I could make and actually watch this like on demand at that time, I recall. Like, and there were a lot of other shows I could name off the bat that were definitely like, this is for adults, really. Like a lot of like ecchi shows that like I should, but they're in the anime section. They're not separated by age group because I get like everyone thought anime is the same, and some people still do. Like, but yeah, I feel like they kind of came out around the same time. Well, I know they were like a talk around the same time, and I think I saw those two shows around the same time. So they're kind of like on the same level of like two shows that I just saw at a time that I thought I was edgy, or
I watched Elfenlied as a teenager and I thought it was the coolest, edgiest shit ever. It was like, hell yeah, gore, blood. It was fucking awesome. And then I watched it like 5 years later and I realized, oh no, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, there's actually like two more that I'll go through really quick, because one of them is just a statement, but I'll save that for last. Anonymous asks, did you ever watch the Poirot/Miss Maple anime? Also, other than Detective Conan, there seems to be a deficit of mystery series in anime. Why would you say this is? Well, I would say no to that first part, and also, I don't think that's necessarily true. Like, Elfie just talked about Bungo Stray Dogs for a while.
Thank you. Well, even then she said it wasn't a very good mystery.
Well, yeah, just to add on that, it's not. Like a lot of the mysteries in Bungo Stray Dogs is very surface, and I think that's the problem. Like, I like it tries to build it as like, oh yeah, because and I think it's trying to do mystery because we have these characters named after authors, and like that's cool. Like, we might as well incorporate that. But like, I don't think a lot of them are well written or well thought out. They're very surface when it comes to mystery, and I think that's the problem. Like, it's hard to write well written mystery. Like, it's hard to write it in like a way that's like, this is solid. I feel like if you have to do a mystery series, it has to be entirely a mystery driven series. You can't just be like mystery plus action plus soap, and it's tough. It's honestly tough to be a mystery writer, a good one at that, and that's probably why, to answer the question, that's probably why there isn't a lot. There isn't a lot of other titles besides the title of Conan franchise like that wants to take a risk tackling that, because it's just like a huge endeavor to do so. Especially if you're not drawing from source material. If you want to make something original, that's like already a difficult task. Like, okay, now we have to come up with these things, from scratch in ways that make sense.
Well, then the good news is, Anon, is that at the very least, we are going to have El Malloy soon. So,
Yeah.
there you go.
There's a Miss Marple. Okay, that makes sense.
And then the last thing that we have in here, if you want to send in questions,
man.
opinions, or just this, I guess, go to videogamechuchu.tumblr.com/ask. Anonymous just says, give more anime, women, pubic, hair.
Thank you.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, they're not wrong.
Valid, yes. They're not. They're not wrong.
I don't.
They're absolutely
this,
correct.
But, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
I just really liked your response. Like, yeah.
We do not control the anime girls. I'm sorry. We just react to them.
I'll pass it along to the anime girls at our next meeting. All right.
The anime girls meeting.
All right.
I guess
That is a valid point to make, though. There is a lack of that, but also
Listen, my real problem is that this anime showed me is like I legitimately get like so mad every time there's no nipples in an anime. That might
that's
seem
true.
like,
Also,
like,
there's
it's just like fucking weird. Like, ugh.
there's meanwhile, like the same show would probably show, girls with, nipple, but not guys. They're not. They don't feel like drawing them on.
Oh, that's that's the funniest thing. I was tweeting about this, okay? I was tweeting like, man, why is Gynax the only people who draw nipples? And someone said, listen, they're not. Code Geass had full female, like, top nudity or whatever in one of their episodes. But ironically, in the same episode, Suzaku has no nipples, which is really funny to me.
So really, we should just give more anime characters nipples.
Yes. Yes. All of them. I'm had it up to here with this erasure.
They deserve it.
And if they already have nipples, give them more.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
non-negotiable.
Shonen in general, I would say does show nipples generally.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Dragon Ball has so many nipples.
That's true. I don't know if Naruto did. I'm gonna say.
I don't remember. I don't remember if there were a lot of like the shirt. Anytime tops were
Well,
ripped,
let's
it was
all
convenient.
remember. Can we remember if Naruto had nipples?
Do you remember Sasuke's nipple?
Oh yes, when I was a teen, I remember vividly.
I feel like anytime a top was torn, it's just conveniently covering the right spots.
exactly.
I think that's really what it was. Yeah.
Disgusting. Anyways, our next anime is Evangelion, folks, and you can watch that on Netflix. That's speaking of things conveniently covering up. You know what I'm talking about? Beer cans. You can watch that on Netflix. We're also watching End of Evangelion. We're just gonna do the normal month because I figure most of y'all fucking seen Eva. Like, it's a classic, as they say. But yeah, we'll meet up in 2 weeks and talk about something else. Or, yeah. Yes. Yeah, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll talk about Eva. Don't forget you can send in questions, etc., opinions, loved opinions to the podcast, even if it's about pubic hair for some reason, whatever. You do you. If you want to, should I talk about the Patreon stuff, John? Do you want to talk about the Patreon stuff? You should go for it.
Go to patreon.com/VGCC. I'm going to be honest, we are probably going to be changing some stuff very soon. We're still ironing it out. So, expect some changes. But I will say that I think that we need to respect our work a little bit more, and that will be reflected in some price changes, perhaps. But we will be very open about this. We will be talking with all of you about how this will go down. So we don't want to upset anybody. We want to figure out the best way to handle this. So please, we're going to talk about it privately first, and then we'll get in touch with the listeners, probably in the GameZone.zone, our Discord server, to figure out exactly how people feel about all this stuff. Because we want to better serve you, and we want to, and part of that is making enough money to do that. So hopefully you all understand. We're going to figure this out, though, sooner than later. But for now, yeah, patreon.com/VGCC, that's the best way to support us. So please go ahead and do that.
All right. Well, then that's it for the episode this time. Thanks as always for listening, and I hope you have a good night, day, week, month, year, life. This is your life, like they said in the last episode of Die Buster. Have a good one.
しく